To me exclusively.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Only
Of
you.
course.
Anyway, the stream started. Hello, welcome,
Hello.
no one. Probably. We'll see today. Eventually,
A
we
few
have to
last
get
time, right?
one person, right?
yeah.
Did we have
Um,
a few? A few last time?
I think it was just me and Andrew checking the stream. I think that's what we concluded, which
Yeah.
we're going to
Oh,
have one today because I'm going to check the stream. In fact, I'm going to check it right now. So I'm going to disconnect. So if I talk over you, that is why. I won't be able to hear you talking. So I apologize if I talk over you.
That's all
so
right.
disconnected. So
Oh, I was
misdirected.
I was taking a nice nap and my alarm went off and I have the goofiest alarm. It's like carnival music for some reason. So that's how committed I am to this
Wow.
is that I'm replaying through Dark Souls currently. It's a
Are you
very
good?
good game. Yeah, very good game. It's very fun. Um I want to play two. I know you guys kind of hate two. Everyone that
Play
I've
two.
seen that likes two loves it. And then there's, if you don't like it, you
It's a
are in the
very
camp.
polarizing,
Yeah.
yeah, in the community.
I want to just try it. I'm sure it's
Try it
not
out.
horrific.
It'll
It
probably
can't
be
be.
99 cents on Steam. It's there's no way it's a lot.
Aw, poor Dark Souls 2. I wish
Stupid
Bloodborne was on
PC.
PC. Do we want to go
I
the
also wish, for your
depart?
sake, Bloodborne was on P. That
Yeah.
that one's my favorite by far.
Yeah.
I fucking adore Bloodborne. And Sekiro may be in my top three. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed that
Um,
experience. Thoroughly enjoyed that. That was a fantastic game. Hard as piss.
do we want to go more depressing or lighthearted this week? Do we want to talk about?
Today, you know what? I'm running around in Minecraft.
Oh,
I'm
maybe
feeling like
I should join
feeling
you in Minecraft.
constructive.
All right, I'm gonna make one go at Sem's Fortress, and then I'll join you on Minecraft.
Good luck.
We
Although on New
probably,
Game Plus, you should have a much easier time.
yeah, I've already noticed. I'm trying to do all the bosses I didn't do last time. I want to do the DLCs. Whoops, I'm already dead. All right, well, that's enough of that. Okay, so
Why is why is what do you call it? The stupid
mhm.
item drop not on.
I don't know why that doesn't turn on.
What
That's
the fuck? Where do
probably
you go to do it? General? What's it
well,
under?
no. I'm gonna have to type in a command. It's not something you
Oh
can
well.
do. I don't think.
Go ahead and die at Sen's Fortress so you could join me
Yeah,
on
I'm
Minecraft. I
already.
wish we
Yeah.
could stream our Minecraft. That'd be kind of fun.
Alrighty. I
If
am back.
Adam I
What?
could stream my screen for Minecraft if you're able to put it up on the
That'd
like
be
is there a
fun.
way for you to watch my like if I put it on Discord, is there a way for you to just you're
I
on a
mean, you
computer,
don't.
right?
What do you stream it through Discord? No, don't do it through Discord actually, because I have.
Uh,
If you have you watched our streams?
yeah,
Okay, so if you
I
notice,
have.
I have our little Discord icons down in the bottom, and that is because I am literally recording that screen of Discord. So it's a Discord window that I've got like
Oh, okay.
kind of compressed and small. So if you stream it through like Twitch or something, I can probably get that up if you want just something to
Which would
have
be good.
gameplay
Yeah,
over it.
I
What?
feel like Discord would be easy, wouldn't it? If I'm able to do it in Discord, or you're not able to pull up my
Well,
screen in Discord.
if well, then I have to leave the screen as our chat bubbles. Is my point. And so,
Okay.
because I'm using the app of Discord, I don't know if
Yeah,
I can
let's
use the online
wait,
one as well. But
I can do I know I have a Twitch. I don't think I can get into my account, but I can certainly make a new one.
I was gonna say, I think it's
You
pretty
get
easy
banned for
to set up.
too many topless streams.
Yeah, did you get banned for too
Trying to
many
beat
hot
out.
tub streams?
Yeah, they didn't like me posting my genitals.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I mean the hot tub streams weren't directly
I
posting
said
genitals.
topless streams.
I know
Oh,
what he said.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
referencing an actual thing that happened, which was there was a
That's
time when I forget what started it, but um, a lot of female streamers were they would they would stream themselves doing whatever, talking, playing video games while in a bathing suit in a hot tub. Though it was basically to well, I don't even have to say it. It's very obvious
I
what
was
was
gonna
going on there.
say,
And
yeah.
Twitch ended up cracking down on it, and you're not allowed to do those anymore. I can't remember what started it, though. It was something smaller than
feel
that.
about
It was something like people maybe streaming in like just their bra or something. And then when Twitch cracked down on that, they moved to the hot tub, because then it's like, oh, it's not, it's not as risque because it's a bathing suit. Like, this is normal. I wear this in public, but it's very obvious what was happening.
I don't want to.
Kind of, I don't know. I understand not wanting, because then they kind of run the risk of almost, if they don't do that, becoming almost like a pseudo OnlyFans
Well,
type,
yeah,
where-
you're not allowed to be
Oh, I
posting stuff like
understand
that on
that from a-
Twitch.
but man, they would make a lot more money. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but
I'm
you
surprised.
also open yourself up to probably a lot of legal stuff because like you might they probably like the biggest thing would probably be not wanting potential underage
Oh,
people to be doing
yeah,
it,
that's
because
true, that's
I don't think they require you to give a photo ID or anything like that. So you have to, just go on the goodwill that the people who are posting this shit are of age, and it's like,
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
you don't. It's easier to just say no to all of it than to even risk some of it. So I get it.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
Stream together, viewer reward, stream. Primary stream key.
Oh man.
Okay.
So yeah, while you set that up, Andrew, welcome, future viewers. This is, I know I already said
Welcome.
this. I know, yeah, welcome. I know you already we already said this, but this is episode 5. We don't yet have a title because that always gets, well, not always, but we tend to want to figure that out when we figure out a topic. And so
What are we? What letter are we on?
D, because
D.
we did, I think we did C, which we just talked about a whole bunch of random topics that started with C, and then we did the Finn McKenty video. So we are
That's
on
right.
the letter D now. But yes, we are your hosts. My name's Adam.
I'm Dan.
Yep.
And I'm Andrew.
Yeah, there we
Maybe.
go. There we go.
Almost
Well,
messed that
that'll
one up.
become more natural in
Yeah.
time, I'm sure.
I am
Yeah, Daniel's
Figment
second.
Troid. Not to
You're-
be confused with
Oh yeah, I'm the
Oh,
little
great
asterisk. I'm
philosopher,
back.
the great non-controversial philosopher Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, he
Who
was
had
his
some-
like famously not
valid
controversial. That guy.
Yeah, he didn't say anything weird and
He is-
pedophilic at all.
No, he didn't do
Ever.
anything like that.
It wasn't
didn't.
pedophilic. It was incestuous. Which
yeah.
is better.
Well, a good point.
Well,
You're
actually,
right.
I haven't read all his shit. I took a psychology class last semester, and we relearned about some of his stuff. Basically, that a lot of it is it's not really taken. I don't want to say seriously, but it's not considered accurate at all. It's mostly talked about in the sense that it kind of opened the doors for people to think. I don't want to say outside the box because he had some pretty out there ideas, but essentially
Outside the
do that,
bun.
and then that's kind of what, like, because a lot of people didn't believe in that stuff, and so it caused them to go on and form other branches of psychology. So there is, his work is important in that aspect for sure.
See some guy sitting in the class going, "Oh, he's into his mom too. I might have to start
Oh,
studying
no.
this." And then, wow, you're really passionate there, Mister Aristotle. Well, what can I say?
Mr.
love
Aristotle.
I don't know. What year was Sigmund Freud?
I can't remember. It wasn't that long
Aristotle's
ago.
great.
It was nowhere near that long ago, though.
All right, well then, fine. It's another great philosopher from that time, or after his time.
Yeah, Carl Jung.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
Look, Mr. Shapiro, we understand that you enjoy philosophy, but
Shapiro, like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, like Ben
What
said.
other Shapiro is there? He's the
That's
only
why I
one of
was-
his
Yeah, what
name
other
on
Shapiro is
Earth.
there?
I
No
don't know
one
if I'd
else
call
has
him
that
a
last name.
philosopher though. It's weird.
No,
I don't know.
I think he is clearly kidding.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
messed
I don't-
It
that up.
depends on what you consider to be a philosopher. Not that
I
I'm
don't-
arguing for Ben Shapiro. I just could someone consider him a philosopher?
I don't know. I
No.
don't know what actually defines a
think you
philosopher.
Could.
He's a politic man.
A
Yeah,
politic man, yes.
Yeah, he does
Politic, man. Yeah, I mean, a political, I guess, I don't know. The word philosopher does get used kind of loosely.
Yeah.
But if you philosophize, I mean, if you talk about
Let's see.
something and it's down to its kind of conceptual bare bones, I would say that you are philosophizing. I
Let's
don't know,
see.
philosopher.
The definition of philosopher from Oxford Languages, oh God, is a person engaged or learned in philosophy, especially as an academic discipline. So I don't think Ben Shapiro falls there. But then again, I don't know how learned he is of philosophy.
I mean, love him or hate him, the dude is objectively intellectually gifted.
I mean, I think
like,
he's smart.
He's very
or
intelligent.
intelligent, rather.
I definitely used to agree with him more back in the day. It sucks that all these guys who I think have something very valid to say end up kind of succumbing to the capitalistic political machine, whatever you want to call that. Like, I mean, there's so many of them that just become, I don't want to just jump right to grifters because that's kind of harsh. Like,
Yeah.
I would definitely put Andrew Tate in the grifter.
Yeah.
But like that's obviously he's kind of the I was gonna say the Hitler of influencers, kind of joking.
Well,
but like
that's-
as far as the
That might be a
extreme,
little
I mean, everyone goes to
hyperbolic.
well Hitler. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Not as a person, but like everyone kind of jumps to well. It's always like the Hitler thing, and then you kind of work backwards. Like, well, whatever in whatever scenario, that's always the extreme, and you work backwards. He's kind of that. He's
look,
kind of
Hitler
seen as
set the bar really high, so
that's one way to
for
word it.
evil, he set the bar high.
You could say that's it's funny how everything's a matter of perspective. Anyway, but he's I mean grifter should be really reserved for and I used to really like Steven Crowder. I really did, but he I think became a kind of a grifter. I would almost put him in that box.
I can't speak to anything about him. I mean, the most I ever knew, but I know lefties hate him, and he's always done. I know him from the meme, the change my mind thing or whatever. But
yeah, and that was a great
that's
concept.
Literally, I mean the
I
concept
love
is if
that
you're an
concept.
honest person, right?
Right.
Because I mean, if you
And
were
I don't
actually
think
looking,
he ever had
Go
his
ahead.
mind changed.
Probably not. And you know what? I'm sure most of the people that tried probably weren't up to task for it. Like, I don't think most people are up to changing someone's mind, especially if it's about.
Well, yeah, especially if he goes in with a bunch of talking points and statistics.
Well,
and
yeah, and you know
if
what?
go in
To
with
be
an
fair,
agenda.
I mean, to be fair, he knows that stuff probably at this point because that's the world he lives in. And so it's like if you're not prepared to counter those things or come at him with actual
Right.
facts to dispute what he's saying, then well, it's just no point. You can't just go in there and say, "Well, I feel like it should be this way," when you need to go and you need to be prepared. So I think the whole idea of him putting up a little table and saying, have people just walk up to him and say, "Change my mind," it's like the whole thing. He almost knows that's a guaranteed win because he's already prepared for maybe what people are going to say. It's not a debate, not a formal debate environment. So even that you might be able to. He was probably just trying to just do what he own the libs, get a win.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, look how dumb they are. When it's like you could do the same thing to conservatives, you could do the same thing to anybody.
I think he genuinely, if you watch, because I followed back when he started that whole concept, and like years ago, probably 10 years ago now at this point. I think I was in like high school, and 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 early on, he would even say he would have these really great conversations where he was much more not docile, but much more reserved. And he would say something and he would go, and I'm not saying that to as a gotcha. I'm like, he would even say that. He would preface the things that he would say to make sure that the recipient knew that it wasn't coming from this like politically charged or this
And
like fallacious kind of
yeah.
standpoint. And now all of his streams really are very polarizing. It's a shame. I mean, it really
Well, I
is.
mean,
It's
it probably started off just him trying to break his way into the space to begin with, because you know you do
yeah,
sort of, if you're going up, you know, you're trying to get into a sought after environment or whatever, you're going to have to kind of, you know, build yourself up, and
yeah,
the best way to do that is to be more agreeable. In fact, that's just you should try and always be more agreeable at all times, just because it makes, I don't know, discussions actually happen. And so he probably
yeah,
was more agreeable in the beginning. I could believe that. I've seen quite a lot of streamers or political people, anyone, they start out being a lot more open to others' ideas, even if the other person isn't, which always makes you look good. Whether the audience you're against, you know, doesn't like you or not, it can only help you if you aren't going in there just being like, I'm right and you're wrong.
yeah.
That just is not helpful to any discussion ever. And so I'm sure he did start out more agreeable, but as time went on, he got to be the guy that everyone had to go through to be able to break into the space. So now he's the guy on the other side being like, "You're wrong," and then the other person has to be
Die
all
the
agreeable.
hero, live
You
long
know,
enough to become the villain.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it can happen to anyone really, and
Um,
it's probable that it wasn't even a conscious thing. You know, yeah, I'm sure he didn't
no,
just
I
wake up one
agree.
day and go, "Finally, I have reached peak." You know, I'm
Well,
sure
and
it
I wish
just
that people could take things that because there's things that let me word this correctly. There are things that streamers or influencers, whatever you want to call it, people, I hate all these labels, have said that as soon as you say the name of the person, all of the like any what would you call it?
goodwill
Any
or anything that
grace
they
or
may have had.
goodwill, yeah, that you might have been
Unbiased.
given by the person you're
Yep.
talking to goes out the window. And
Yep.
there's the I guess the attributing uh, of ideas or whatever it is that are that will make or break someone's viewpoint on something. It's such a fragile, delicate balance to try to hold to be like, hey, like even people, if there's anyone ever listening to this, they might instantly because I brought up Steven Crowder or Ben Shapiro, anything, and because I at one point, or said that at one point I praised them or that they've said certain things that I like, they would immediately, brand me as a conservative or brand me as
Yep.
a Republican or whatever, and just instantly. And it's like, why? I wish we could take ideas from people and go, no, that's a
Oh,
great idea, even if 99%
Well,
of what someone says is dog shit. If they say something, I go, okay, you got something there. Unless
well,
they're,
sure.
Literally Hitler.
I mean,
That's where I would.
that's called being, you know, a centrist, I think. In at least I guess I have to look it
Even
up, but
that.
I think that's kind of what the idea is that you are not beholden to one side or the other. You like personally, I do agree with things that basically any political party says. There's always something in there that could be a good idea to merge with something else. But of course, it's always an us versus them situation. Like that's just ingrained in our culture at this point. Is that
It is
you can't
crazy.
like it's crazy to think that that a Republican could ever be open to certain ideas, or that a liberal could ever be open to certain like Republican ideas, anything like that. It just has to be black and white. It's got to be down the middle. This is what they agree with. This is what they agree with. When I pretty sure if you polled the American people, they would all have different conservatives and Democrats would have different like scales for these things. That like I bet you a bunch of conservatives are for maybe a certain level of abortion, but you're not going to hear that so much from the political conservatives. Even
Yeah.
like Trump has said, I think well, he didn't really say one way or the other, right? He left it up. He says he's leaving it up to the states, which
Yeah,
is sort of like, But if you poll the American people, you're going to get a whole bunch of different ideas, and so I don't know how you ever get past that, because everyone's going to have a different idea of how things should be run, but everyone also has to accept that you're maybe potentially going to have to take some good with the bad, in the sense that, there's going to, unfortunately, with the way our systems run, you pick a politician that you more so agree with. You're not necessarily going to agree with everything they say, but, you kind of weigh it. That's that's everything. But
like, you're
I
never gonna
wish,
find
I do wish there
politician
was
that
a way of
100%
providing a platform for all ideas to be heard, not just for these two-party like the two-party system stuff. Like, I wish, even if I'm not a libertarian, but I would like to see a libertarian actually get on one of these fucking debates for once.
Yeah.
Why is it always just Democrat and Republican? I don't care if libertarian's a smaller party. Give them a shot. If they are a party and a sizable portion of the population does vote for it, then give them the platform. Let them have that chance to speak, because who knows? It could change minds. But of course, I don't think that's in the best interest of the people that run the country currently.
That's the problem. And even ideas, when you say Republican ideas or liberal ideas, whatever, it's funny that concepts immediately get assigned a political party.
Yeah.
And that really comes down to the identity politics in this country are just off the fucking rails. You can't say anything that, really at all about anything without, there being some degree of someone's identity being challenged, whether it's who they're voting for, or even the abortion thing, or whatever, Palestine, Israel. Anytime you bring up a concept or a hot topic or a current event, whatever, these things are so ingrained in the, for lack of a better word, the identities, the paradigms of the American people, that for them to even consider another alternative to whatever it is you're discussing, they would first have to separate that kind of connection between the idea and their very own selves. And I don't think that's doable for a lot of people. I think that it's just so, like you said, ingrained in who we are, that for somebody, it would almost be like they would have to rewire the fabric of who they are, which is, no one, people aren't going to do that. And there's no objectivity. You have to separate yourself from the things that you're discussing. You just have to. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person for questioning what you believe. And I don't think people believe that.
I don't know if I would say people aren't going to do that. Some people just straight up aren't. But I think if there was more discussion around, or more people there needs to be more people that actually talk about being open to others' ideas. Because then you could potentially change the, not narrative, but sort of how people think about certain issues, or any issue, really. I like to think that I'm pretty open to, hearing out anyone's idea. And I'm sure I do have some topics that I would probably not be willing to change my mind on, but maybe if the right person talked to me, then I could. I don't think a lot of people, honestly, I think people just are so wrapped up in their own lives already that it's just not something they either have time or give time to think about. They've got other things they're doing, work, kids, whatever, school. And it's just not something, because I have this issue all the time when I love talking about basically anything. I just love talking to people about stuff. And I think I've said this before, it's like, who would win between a fucking, I don't know, a rat and a mouse in a fight or something. It's like, no one wants to talk about that, with me at least. It's just one of those things. It's like, I would entertain it. I don't know how far the conversation's really going to go. It's just a silly, stupid conversation that at the end of the day means nothing, but who cares? I don't know. It's just fun to have. And I think people just don't give enough time to discussion or to the idea of having those mind changing conversations. I think a lot of people, yeah, they do just watch whatever their news, their selected news. They just go, oh, that's bad and this is good, and then they kind of, and that's most of it for people. You know, most
That's as
people aren't the
far as
ones
they
going out
go.
in the streets protesting and going to the rallies. That's not most people.
Yeah.
Most people are just working their 9 to 5, going about their day. They have their ideas. They don't really have anyone in their life that challenges them, and all the media they consume doesn't challenge it either. So it's just, you know, it's not something enough people give enough time to. But I'm also
Sure.
understanding that there's only so many things you can care about. So, you know, if
You guys
having
can
those
hear me?
discussions, then what? Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, right?
I can hear
I
you
can now.
Have you been talking like this
Okay,
whole
great.
time or something?
No. I just wanted to make
Okay.
sure. But if you follow the link that's in the chat, you can watch my stream and see if that
Ah.
works.
In which chat? Our
In
Discord
the-
or
I see it.
Yeah, Hanky
hang
Snells or whatever. Yeah, Discord.
Yeah, hang on. All right. I'm going to have to just remove our Discord from the stream for the moment.
Here we go.
Yeah, well, I see it. You don't have to put the little arrows.
Maybe I want to
This
put the
link
camera.
is taking
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. Fucking, I just heard
I think you
Also,
might have to
Andrew,
log in
whenever you want to
to
put
Twitch.
coordinates
access
on, I will not stop.
denied. Why? What do you mean I'm
Let me see.
live? What?
Really? Hold on, maybe
Oh,
that's something on
I'm
my
very
end.
confused now.
Settings. Stream.
Yeah, I'm already
Timing
logged in because
stream.
I do streams from time to time. So
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to.
and not being able to get items from monsters or from enemies is killing
I'll
me.
fix that too.
I don't
I don't know
get
how
that.
to. You can't get into my thing. That's weird.
It says access denied. You do not have permission to access this page. What is your Oh God, I'm not super familiar with
That's
Twitch. I'm
weird.
such a boomer with this shit. I swear.
I don't really use
same,
Twitch.
same
either.
with. I mean, it's kind of it's similar to Discord in the sense that I just don't. I'm not super used to using it, so I'm not extremely familiar with where to go. Like I thought.
Which one does where does
Where's there a
Pokimane come from? Is that Twitch?
Where is there a search bar?
Yeah, I think
Can I not
so.
just go home?
That's so I may have to use Twitch more often.
Creator
After
dashboard.
one
Nope,
better
no.
four.
Shout out to Pokimane.
Creator camp. Hang on. Let me just do this. What is your well, before I ask this, just tell me if you are fine with sharing it
it's
on
just
stream.
if you
Oh god.
just type in
Oh, god.
basically the same thing. Astro Wombat 04. I wasn't able to find myself, but I didn't know if that was because I'm
But you
link
are
URL.
streaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
are.
it says I'm live.
Yeah, I
Am
mean,
I
if you're
live?
logged in, you should be able to go to your creator dashboard and see your own stream.
Support a creator.
I'm gonna mute your stream just to have it as gameplay.
Yeah, I thought
oh
I
God,
did that. I guess it didn't work. You said
Let
you
me
could hear a
bring
cow. Yeah, mute.
Discord back up. Yeah, I did. Well, I heard a cow. I think through probably Dan's TV coming through his microphone.
Oh, that. Yeah, mine is muted. You won't hear my gameplay. Although I would love a way to do that. Although that might be annoying.
That would be that'd be
All
too
right.
much.
Yeah, let me know
let
if we can. Let's see, and I'll
let me
watch it on this.
see.
Cool beans. All right, we got another visual element. You need as
There we
much
go,
stimuli
yeah.
as possible for the Gen Zers. They
For sure.
or for the Gen Alpha. There, if it's not, there was a guy teaching like a lesson, and he, you know, those videos that'll have like a video game going next to the thing that the video is actually about.
Yeah.
He
Dude, I
was
hate
doing
that.
his
It's so
lesson that
bad.
way, so he was like scrolling through the lesson and had some like Rocket League or some shit playing at the same time to try to keep his students interested. Like, we're doomed.
Oh yeah, we
We
are. We're fucked. Like it's over.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane to
I
think.
know.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like you can't
That is
just sit
really
and just
bad.
watch a video about something. It has to have
No.
Sonic in the background or some shit. Like
Actually, hey, make sure you. Well, whatever. I was gonna
What's
say
up?
I don't. You're in your settings right now, so I don't. I don't know if that's something you want to be sharing on stream or not.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm showing my whole I'm just helping out my
Showing your whole.
showing
Yeah.
your whole
I'm just showing
ass.
my whole. Yeah, there we go. Do you like it? All right, let's see here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's really. I mean, I don't know. I got nothing.
Okay.
I started out good.
All right.
Oh, idiot.
Your stream is going. I'm now streaming your
All
Twitch.
right.
God, what is my CPU running at? Oh God.
Yeah. Mine
Oh,
is having a hell of a time.
Well, I
Mine
was
is
gonna
not
say my
doing great.
CPU's usually running at like 11% when I'm streaming, which is pretty okay for since I don't have like a good computer for this shit anyway. But
Um,
wow, it is fluctuating between like 10% to 25. That is just incredible. Hopefully this
I'm
is
probably running
okay.
at a hard
We'll
90.
see, I guess.
PlayStation Master Race.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean that doesn't. I'm not streaming off of Xbox. I'm streaming off of a fucking
Yeah, I know.
laptop. So that doesn't. Yeah, fuck off.
Oh,
You're nonsense.
I need coordinates.
We
Help
both
me.
we both
Okay, I
know
got it.
PC is far stronger. I just don't
Yeah.
have a strong PC.
No. Please don't kill me. I hate
There you go.
skeletons.
I will be
All right.
right back. I am going to go to the bathroom,
Oh
and then
my
we need to figure out
goodness.
something to actually talk about.
Yeah,
let's
what
see.
so we're on D. Let's see. D we could talk about
We
talk
yeah, just go. Dinosaurs. Do you think
yeah.
dinosaurs were fake or real? That was a huge
Let's
thing
see. Well, the
for a
Earth is
while.
only 6,000 years old. So,
Yeah. Uh-oh.
like
What
how
happened
I
with-
mean, not that I'm one to, I'm
Uh-huh.
not a denier of anything, but like how do we know carbon dating is as accurate as it is? Like I believe it. I do believe
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that it's accurate. But I died. No, that sucks.
Yeah, I've heard some. I mean, I think it's based, and I know very little. I think it's based on taking the half-life of the elements that are in the dirt or the soil or whatever, and like whatever uranium 249 decays at a certain rate. So if there's a certain amount of decay, if the uranium is decayed by a certain amount, we can backdate it. I guess I don't know. That might be a really like idiotic way to
That's
uh
that's a cool thing.
to good.
I would say it's one of those things. Also, I love dinosaurs. It's one of those things that I don't like. None of us are smart enough to speak on the whole. Because we could question anything at that point like that. It's just like, how do we know? And it's like, well, you and I fucking don't. I don't understand how it works at all, or who figured it out, or what led to
I
it.
think
It's
we're smart enough. I just
fucking
don't think
insane.
we've studied it.
No, sorry, yeah, it's not that we're not smart enough. It's just that we haven't looked into it. I just mean that we're not learned enough to speak on that topic.
I'd be curious to
I mean, yeah,
explore that.
well, sorry, carbon dating is a C word first, so sorry, can't look that
No,
up.
D.
Dating.
Fuck.
Well, no,
dinosaur.
D is for dinosaur though. Carbon dating, you wouldn't say
D
that's
is
the
for
C
dinosaurs.
word. You would just say dating.
All right,
then,
well,
and then that one is
dinosaurs-
very different.
Are part of the liberal
Dating.
agenda, and
Oh, dude, speaking.
Yeah.
So I went to the beach this past week, and I've never once in my life found shark teeth ever at the beach.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if it was just that I never knew what I was looking for. I'm not going to name the beach I went to, but the one I went to was different from the one I've been going to for basically my whole life. And I found like 50 shark teeth throughout the week. I came back with a pretty sizable
Wow.
one. It's about an inch long. It, from what I could gathered online, it was potentially a either a bull shark or like a smaller great white, but I think it might be a bull. But it's a really nice one. But I came back with mostly smaller teeth. I found, I think 4 snaggletooth shark teeth, like an older species that's extinct now. It's so cool. Most of the ones you find on the beach are black because they're fossilized, and so I had always been looking for white shark teeth. So that was probably my issue. But once I started looking for black shark teeth, well, I came home with like 50. Also, stingray have teeth, and I found some of them on the beach as well.
That's cool.
Or somebody bought a bunch of like the fake ones and they just dumped
Yeah, they just
them on the beach.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
You came
Now,
along with, oh, look at these shark teeth.
well, this beach, from what I know, is apparently very well known for having them. Like, it's one of the most well-known spots on
Where'd you go?
a particular. Well, I'm not gonna tell you on here because we're streaming and all that. Yeah, basically,
East Coast or West Coast.
I'm not saying that either. Fuck off.
Oh wow,
Know that.
we're hidden. Yeah, you'll never know.
God.
Maybe I'll do
Yeah,
Dark Souls instead of this.
So they track
the-
our fucking IP
I'm gonna have to hold on.
address or whatever and go, oh, they're in fucking.
Well, yeah, but luckily I don't have to
matter.
worry about that right
Even
now.
an IP address, you can only get so much. You can't actually get someone's like real address from an IP address.
that
You
true?
basically just get their.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
I don't know about that personally.
I don't know. I think you can get pretty close. Whenever I was living on my college campus as a freshman, I torrented Fallout 3, I think, and I had to go to this counseling for
What?
internet integrity, and I had to show up and watch this video because
What?
they found out. They knew that I had
Your
torrented it
college
on the
found
school's
out?
internet.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, like my-
God.
Yep, and I had to go, and it was really
That's
embarrassing. I was like, sorry that I
wild.
stole this video game.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was weird. And I don't even think I downloaded it at the college. I'm pretty sure I was on break, downloaded at home, like at my parents' house, and then went back, and somehow they still knew. I don't know
That's
if that was the case.
weird.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was very like Big
kinda
Brothery. What the
scary.
heck?
Wow.
And they knew. They went, you were in, and I think it might have been because Bethesda is such a big company that they actually can dedicate the resources to finding out if people are torrenting their games. Whereas I've certainly, maybe I shouldn't admit to this, but I've maybe gotten a few games for free here and there off the internet, and I 100% discount code, and nothing else ever happened. But
Yeah,
that was
that's
definitely
weird. Torrenting is weird because I used to think that I don't personally torrent anything. Like it used to be when we were growing up. You remember you wouldn't steal a movie or you wouldn't steal a
candy
child.
bar.
So don't fucking steal movies or something. And I remember that growing up, and I thought that they were pretty strict. Well, the whatever ambiguous whoever they are, were pretty strict about torrenting movies and stuff like that. Like to the point where I thought that if you went and torrented a movie from, you're basically gonna have someone knocking on your door like the next day. But it's not the case at all. I've known people that torrented quite a lot of things. Where you're like, man, this is. If you ever were found out, that's it's not going to be great. It's not going to be a good day. But I don't personally do it. I don't agree with it. Especially for older stuff when it's like super cheap or whatever. But
Yeah.
so calling you out unless you pirated it when it came out, but still, I don't agree with any of it.
No, it's been a while since that was whenever I was a poor college kid. Most things you can't even get anymore. Like I used to get games for free. Movies you can find very easily online.
Yeah.
But I don't like going to
Seems-
theaters.
I don't know. That might
Well,
be the most, aside from music, that's probably the second most. I would wager that's probably the second most pirated thing out there is movies.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
like, not that this is necessarily an excuse, but like, how many people are you going to catch, calling you out for pirating, like, I don't know, fucking Twisters, a sequel to a 90s movie. Does anyone care? I don't know
Who's
how many
making money
people.
on that?
Yeah, I
well,
don't
Probably
know. I
somebody.
mean,
I mean, I'm
apparently
sure
Twisters is all
the
right, but I
writers
don't know.
are. The
Well,
writers.
yeah,
I
the
mean, think
people
about
that
all the
made the movie,
people who
obviously, they,
like.
that's the
That's
people. But
really, I think, my main issue with all of it is, you put together a kind of like what we were saying about AI. It steals from artists. Like, really,
yeah,
ultimately,
well, yeah,
fuck the
that's what it's
studios,
doing.
whatever, all the big rich investors, fuck them. But the people who are actually who rely on that for their livelihood, like, I
Well,
get it. I
I mean,
wouldn't want
even
people
then,
stealing.
I can't fully say fuck those rich people because they're the reason the movie gets made in the first place.
Yeah,
They are a necessary evil at this point. You don't get now, as much as I would like to move away from like big budget movies and stuff like that. These budgets are getting just ridiculous, $200-300 million.
Insane.
that
And
is
the movies
ridiculous.
are just terrible. But we also do occasionally get good big budget movies. Now, I don't think the returns on most investments these days are doing too well, so maybe need
Probably
to move
not.
away from that. But yeah, you wouldn't get the stuff if the people with the money weren't putting it out there
True.
to get the movies made.
That's
Um,
true.
just so you know, Andrew, whatever you stream on your screen, or
Yeah, I know.
okay,
Uh,
just in case you have any like porn
I'm
tabs open, stuff like that.
no, I don't do that on my computer. That's my phone only. You get viruses that way.
Isn't that
uh,
weird? How like you can do that on your phone and just seemingly be fine, free from viruses? That doesn't make
It
any
yeah, I
is
don't know
sense
why.
to
I
me.
think I think the majority of viruses aren't like literally tailored to the OS of most phones. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm totally
I have
talking
to
out my
imagine it's
asshole,
some
but
sort of security thing. Sort of like how Apple and Windows computers have completely, like Apple's security is
yeah,
infinitely better. You don't have to
yeah,
buy
yeah. It is.
Yeah, it
antivirus
is.
software. Wow, look at that. As soon as you start up Dark Souls, you're just dead.
Well, I quit when I died, and
Oh,
so
that's
I
funny. I'm surprised it didn't just
There's our
spawn you
D.
back.
D for Dark Souls.
Steve for Dark Souls. I
Oh
love Dark
boy.
Souls.
I
It's
also love Dark
yeah,
Souls.
Adam can talk all day. I'm trying to do the DLCs because I didn't do
Oh,
them.
you
Uh,
didn't do them on your first playthrough?
I just didn't know to do. I was trying to kind of not use a guide for most of the game.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Um,
Getting into any DLC for these fucking games is
yeah,
retarded.
it's
It doesn't make
insane.
any sense.
Yeah.
But once you like, it doesn't feel very. Well, I don't know. You could argue there's no sign, like there's nothing where there's nothing on the main menu where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going into the DLC
Yeah.
now. It's like no, you're gonna have to find things in the world, and that's just how it's gonna be. And I don't know if I don't know how I
I
feel
like
about it
that.
actually.
I think
Um,
that's cool. Like I had
I
to go back to the starting area and get that doll so that I can go in the painted world, I think. So I'm
yes.
gonna do that.
I love that
Well,
DLC.
and see, that one is a little bit more okay to me because the Painted World, I don't think is a DLC. I think it's just part of the main game. And the reason I would
Is it?
maybe say it's okay is because you still, even if you didn't do the Painted World, you still have this whole other game, the rest of the game. But the reason where I think it might get a little weird with a DLC having it be that way means that, let's just say, I know most people have the internet, so they would look up a guide for it. But let's just say that someone didn't. Well, then they are potentially you're going to get hit by that boulder. Wow,
Go
what?
ahead.
The second one must be more delayed. If you had waited for another one to
Yeah.
come down, I think you would have
Yeah.
gotten hit. Um, but when you pay for a DLC, there is an expectation that okay, I want to play it. But if you are someone that didn't have the internet or something, I think that would be wild and very hard, you're definitely getting
Oh,
hit by a
fuck
boulder
that.
now. Yep.
Yeah. I've never done any of those games without a guide.
Well,
Simply
yeah.
just because I want to I want to find everything. I want to know.
Yeah.
I
You know,
try
I
and
wanna
do
be
my
a-
first playthroughs without a guide, just because it can be made very interesting. And then maybe second playthroughs, I'll use a guide to see what I missed. But for a DLC, you know, if you pay however much it costs for the DLC, I don't know how much the Artorias DLC costs for DS1, but let's just say it's $20. Okay, so you spend $20, and then, you know, also, Andrew, that's not going to work. It resets itself if you run down that hallway. So,
This is just a
Oh.
let's play now. That's all
Yeah.
this is.
in case you know, that's a little helpful piece of information. That little thing, as soon as you start running down those steps, since you, it will reset itself to,
I don't. I need to go this way.
but anyway,
Oh, really? Go
yes.
ahead.
Only if you run down that one specific hallway to your left there. But yeah, if you pay for the DLC, you know, there is kind of an expectation that you should be able to find and play it. And if you didn't know about there's like, how many steps are there? I think you have to find Ulasil in that lake first. God, the lady that is trapped inside of like a golden golem on the lake with the first Hydra. She's like tucked way in the back. You have to go free her first.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and then, oh, and you don't even know this. Okay, I'm spoiling it for you.
No.
Well, whatever.
No, I don't care.
Too late now. But and then after that, that's just the first step. The second step is defeating. It is a. Do you remember in is it the Duke's Archives? Is that the one in this game?
I love that section.
I can't remember if that's
One
what
of
it's
my
called. Either way, it's the
That's the
library
second game,
section. You
yeah.
know, the
Oh,
area
what the heck?
before you head towards the Crystal Caves and fight Seath.
Also,
If
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's- yeah.
right after you get past the two armored boars in the beginning, and you go up the elevator, there is a bunch of crystal
Those
skeletons, and then there's a golem in that room that you have to kill that golem to then get the next item, or to get the item then that actually allows you into the DLC. And then you have to go all the way back to where Ulasil, you found her, and then Manus will pull you in to the DLC.
Do you have to
Cutscene
fight
will happen.
Schmeagol or just Gollum? I don't remember.
Oh, haha. Just Golem. Just a crystal Golem.
Okay, I didn't know. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but
Oh.
When the
it
Hydra
does
jumps
seem...
out of the water, it's hilarious. That to me is one of the funniest animations in any game.
What?
You just see when the Hydra jumps out of the water.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
when you're down
yeah,
in
it is
the...
funny.
It just goes. You see
when
this
you're-
just
yeah.
behemoth going. It's fucking hilarious.
It is funny.
Kills
Yeah,
me.
that's when that's down in what is that place called? The fucking it's at the when you go down the roots of that tree and you come out on
Oh, yeah,
Ash
that's
Lake.
the-
Ash Lake,
the
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that fucking Hydra, if you just try and run away from it, it'll jump to the other side of the fucking lake and follow
Yeah.
you.
I struggle with that.
It's this
Immensely.
planet-sized fucking. Not really.
Size.
It is funny
It's
looking.
so big.
And it's such a strange looking creature too.
It
Like
is.
when it
yeah.
comes out of the water, especially.
I've died more to falling into the into the water than from the
Mm.
stupid creature.
Oh,
Like
you're
if
talking about the
if
first
you
one?
misstep, you just sink
Yeah.
into the fucking abyss. That's it.
Yeah,
It's just
that's at that
All right.
first. That's at the first Hydra
cool.
in the
Yeah, that's in the-
Dark Root Garden.
Dark root. wood.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there are two Hydras.
Yeah, the one you are
no.
thinking of is the one down in Ash Lake. That's the one you can only
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
from Blighttown.
Yeah.
Where you have to run down the roots of that tree.
God.
That have all
Adam,
those-
did you play this game yesterday? Holy shit.
No,
you know
I just
every
No.
I know these. I know this one and 3 kind of like front to back. I know
Tell
the
me
enemy
to play
placements.
2.
Do what?
Tell me that I shouldn't play 2. Tell me.
Me too.
Look, here's what I'll say. I think it sucks ass. I think most
You mean-
people think it sucks ass, and you could look up
Yeah, it's
plenty
pretty
of
bad.
reviews and gameplay to decide for yourself. The only reason I decided to play it is one, a friend. I game share on Xbox with someone, which if you don't know what that is, that's something Xbox maybe exclusive. PlayStation might have it, but essentially you can choose one other person with an Xbox to share your games with. So if you buy them, they get them. If they buy them, you
Steam
get them.
does that. That's yeah.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
cool.
So the only reason it was bought was because a friend of mine, we both play these games a lot, and we were both just like, I really want more Dark Souls. Like I need something else. And we were both just like, should we try it? It was on the version with the DLCs called Scholar of the First Sin. It was on sale, and so we
Cool name.
bought it for like
It is
30
a cool
bucks or
name.
something, but split between us, it was like 15 each, so it wasn't so bad. And so then we played it. It was hours and hours worth of content. It's just hours and hours worth of not good content to me.
Before you play it, Andrew, watch through that whole Mauler series,
Well-
and then you just
Well, I mean, maybe I would say I had watched that series before playing it, and I still decided to buy it. Just to it is good to judge something for yourself, see what you get out of it. It's just the whole reason I didn't enjoy it is because I played so much of 1 and 3, and even 3 has some stuff in it that is more reminiscent of Dark Souls 2, with some of its design. Dark Souls 2, my biggest issues with that game were mostly spam, in the sense that there's like every single damn area, there's just so many mobs. Like there's so many groups of enemies to get through, and they're not always just they're not just shitty little enemies. Sometimes it's some actual formidable foes, where in Dark Souls 1 they maybe would have placed 2 on you, and even then that would have been quite a challenge, but then they'll just pile 6 on you in Dark Souls 2, and it's just not very fun for me. It results in kind of just running away, getting a couple hits in, and then running away, getting a couple hits in. It's just not very interesting or fun.
yeah.
And especially when you can get destroyed by some wonky hitboxes. You can get stuck on the environment. There's a lot of issues, tiny issues with that game that just make the experience overall not fun to me. Now, I will say, even in that Mauler series, Dan, there are some things that I think have now been patched, because some of the issues he brought up in that he played the Scholar of the First Sin edition, which is what I played, and some of that stuff did not exist anymore. Some of those issues, I think, I cannot remember specifically. It's been a while since I played 2. Maybe I'll give 2 another shot at some point. I only played it through once, and I just thoroughly did not enjoy my time with it and didn't want to go back to it. So hit you through the fucking wall. See, like that, what just happened to you there, Andrew, I would consider like that's just that giant should not have been able to hit you through the wall. Now, granted, it's a video game, so I understand little things like that will happen.
Yeah.
But if I could give you an idea, shit like that's just one of those little moments of like the game being unfair. But shit like that it's all over Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's
2.
pretty rampant.
There's all
I
sorts
only know
of
just
shit.
from watching. I mean, I've watched that Mueller series now twice all the way through, and just based off of the gameplay, like I don't even have to take his word for it. You can see literally in the gameplay these things happening, and it really is a different
gonna say,
experience.
if you want a more concise version of many of the issues, the final part to that series is no longer him responding to someone else's video. It's just a video of him going through issues that were not covered in the other guy, in H Bomber guy's video.
And he gives like a synopsis. It's kind of a comprehensive kind
Yeah,
of if you
it's
wanted like a summary in a way. I would maybe just watch that one and then go back and watch the rest whenever you feel like
well, it
binging
just depends on
something.
what you're wanting. I like the response portion quite a lot.
Me too.
Just in terms of argumentation, and also just showing off, what is what is different about Dark Souls 2 compared to 1, and Demon Souls, and there's just a lot of helpful information in there. He has gone on record as saying that I think that he got some stuff wrong in that series. I don't personally know. I can't remember what specifically
I'd be
he
curious to know
said he got
why.
wrong. I would also be curious. I'd like to know. I'd probably have to. We could probably check the comments on the videos to figure out, see what people are saying. I would also have to play Dark Souls 2 again to kind of confirm those things for myself, because obviously sometimes people just say, "Oh, you're wrong about this," when you're just not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Gosh.
yeah, there are. I'm sure there is stuff he got wrong. That is a very long series, and I can't imagine how long it took him to put together. I think he did he say in those videos how long it took him? Was it something like 6 months of straight work or
Yeah, I
something?
think total it was a few months. I mean, he usually does a month's worth of like I just finished his I finished the Outlast critique and
Yeah. Oh, and see, funnily
I'm
enough, that
currently
was
watching
Go
Resident
ahead.
Evil one.
oh yeah,
And
and those were
I mean, I
earlier
think he
on in
said he
his
does like
career,
a
and it
month.
wasn't taking those didn't take him as long. I don't think. Like his videos now, fucking what was the most? Oh, that sucks, Andrew. Fuck, I hate getting grabbed by him. At least he
Trying to
didn't throw
knock
you
off. I
off.
noticed he doesn't have the core anymore because you already took it from him. Isn't that
Well,
kind of cool? Right?
that's wait, what? No, you're
Hold
gonna get
on. Look
another
at
one from him.
his chest though. He doesn't have
I don't remember
the
him ever
core.
having anything in it.
He had
Um,
the core in the middle, I think.
no, because I
Pretty
mean, you're
sure
going to receive another
Like a
core from him when
Centurion.
you beat him. I'm pretty sure.
that was. Oh, okay. I figured maybe they added a new game plus little detail or something like, hey,
Oh, God. Just watching you just get
I'm
punched.
dead. Yeah, that was it. I
You're not
might survive that.
necessarily dead. If you can do some
Oh,
good dodges. Oh, now you're dead.
I
That sucks.
I only went in that with one Estus though. I wanted to try it. All right.
Wait,
Good
what?
old
From
Dark
the
Souls.
very beginning, you only had one Estus?
Just because I was running around and I went
That's
I kind of didn't.
You did really well then. Wait, why do you only have 5? Did you start a new playthrough?
No, because I'm. Wait, what? You mean +5 or just 5 heals?
No, why do you only have 5 Estus?
This bonfire I just never kindled. I didn't kindle most of them. Look how many humanities
Oh,
I have in the last
sorry,
one.
I forget that that's something you have to do in this game.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's not something you have to do in 3, or 2. I don't think. I can't remember if you have to do that in 2 or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I can't remember what playthrough I'm on for this. Oh, that jump is so hard. I fucking hate that jump.
Yeah, that one.
So weird. The jumping mechanics in these games are kind of trash.
They're very
to be
weird.
honest.
Yeah, the
They're very
Soulsborne
weird.
series is not meant for platforming. Holy fuck.
No, Elden Ring is better about it in that now they actually dedicated
Yeah.
some time to a jump mechanic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that shit.
Obviously, Sekiro doesn't count because
Fuck.
there's a ton of
Yeah,
ton of,
Sekiro
jumping. That one's great.
platforming wise is good.
Well, that's
Right.
true. Yeah, would you call that?
Oh,
Well, call that platform? Yeah, I guess I wouldn't really
Well,
call that platforming.
I mean, well, I would.
Is.
What do you mean? Of course. I mean, you're jumping I assume platforming can just be boiled down to jumping from platform to platform.
Yeah, I don't know. Platforming to
I-
me seems like
Yeah,
There's
like I
more
think
of like a-
Mario.
Well, no,
And
I mean,
yeah,
well, that game is more so a platformer. Dark Souls is not a platformer; it just has elements of
I
platforming.
think. Yeah, well, let's see. Definition of platforming, because
Oh,
there's
Jesus!
there's a
Sorry for that
different
burp.
word. Platforming game.
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. Dark Souls has everything. It has puzzles. It has boss fights. It has,
Okay.
adventuring. It
Between
has.
platforms
Does it have
over
puzzles?
obstacles to reach a goal. Right. Yeah, I guess you could consider that.
I
see
think
it as
so.
more.
I think it has
parkour.
puzzles.
What puzzle does it have
Parkour.
in it? I can't think of it right
Like
now.
just finding your way around. I mean, obviously what is it?
Hold
The
Hold
what's
on,
the
I don't think I've ever
thing-
seen anyone do what you're doing right now. What the fuck?
It's a shortcut up from the
What?
undead.
I never knew
Yeah.
that.
Look at that. Who's the real
That's
Dark
cool.
Souls master, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure you saw it in a guide, huh?
No. I did this
No,
completely
for real?
by
All
accident.
right, sorry.
I promise you. Yeah,
That's
I did
awesome.
that last
Isn't
time.
that amazing that Adams played
Yeah.
that game more than fucking anything has ever been done by any person?
Oh no, not even
Yes.
close. Not even close. I'm
Still.
only on like playthrough 5. But I've also like personally I'm only on
enough.
playthrough 5, but I've also helped a friend of mine play through it like three times
It's
roughly.
funny that still there's things that can be found from games.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
guarantee
right,
I did 6 or 7 playthroughs of Sekiro, and I bet there's still things that
Oh yeah.
I would find.
I'm-
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could call that a platformer. I just call that more of. It's just more of a. I don't know,
Well,
platforming. Like
again,
platforming
I
to me
just-
seems
I,
like
I, go ahead.
going from, like in a more precarious way that's not. It's generally just more vertical. Like I see like I guess it. Like
Well,
what platforming. When I think of
no, 'cause I
platforming,
mean-
there's a spot in Elden Ring where you have to fall down these like stone tablets or whatever
it's
sticking
like
out
the
of the
giant
side.
I hate that.
headstones.
The highway.
That's what
I
I
hate
think
that.
of when I think of platforming. Not so much like the parkour Spider-Man style swinging. I don't know if I would call that platforming, but maybe. I could see how one would call that platforming. To me, platforming feels more rigid. It's not as like
I'm
I
not
don't
well
know.
versed enough in what
not
is
as
or
many
is not a
acrobatics
platformer.
going on.
I thought platforming had something to do with jumping from one platform to another. Hit him. He's like
I
stunned.
thought I
Hit him. There you go.
Well, I was trying to get
gonna
my
say.
stamina up.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when he gets like that, if you hit him enough, he will fall off the edge.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I couldn't get him. You have to be right on the edge of glory or whatever. Come on, you big bastard.
I'm on the edge.
All right.
of
Sorry, I
glory.
shouldn't play games that are so intense. This is just going to become
Oh,
a
I don't care. I'm sitting here watching it, just talking about Dark Souls. I love talking about these games.
backseat. Come on, you asshole.
And I'm not necessarily like super knowledgeable in why things are or are not like good mechanically. I don't know how to necessarily speak on that stuff. Like I can speak to why, and this is because I've already looked into arguments for and against it. But like I can speak to maybe why the healing system in this game is better than Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2. In that, like Demon Souls, you farm your health through you can farm your health. It's through what are they called? The herbs or whatever, the green herbs.
Oh yeah, I really
Yeah.
didn't care for Demon Souls. I'll be honest. I didn't even give it.
I
a second.
still haven't gotten a chance to play it. I just know about that as part of the healing system, where you can have multiple different sized herbs that give you different
It was
portions of health.
okay.
And the only bad part about it, like that's good, having different sized healing items, I don't really have an issue with, but because you can farm them off of enemies, I believe,
Yeah.
it leads to like you can just have stacks of these items, so you could have technically not infinite healing. It's just so much of it that it's almost indistinguishable if you're going up against a boss. Whereas in this game, they took that away from you and they give you an item that you only have a limited number of uses, no matter what. And in Dark Souls 2, you still have the Estus Flask, but then you also essentially have the same system from Demon Souls, except instead of green herbs, they call it life gems. And so you can find those and farm them as well on top of your Estus. And they also do something slightly different. The way your health regenerates from a life gem is slightly different than with the Estus, because the life gems heal slower over time. And so you can pop one, get hit, and if like let's say you're at like 10% health and you pop a life gem and then an enemy hits you for like 20% and you should be dead, but because you pop the life gem and it's slowly regenerating health over time, you wouldn't die because it was still regenerating health. So even though you technically hit 0, I think because it's still regenerating, you never actually hit zero. You just hit as close to zero as you could possibly come. So like there's a tactical use for it for sure. It's just it does mess up the balancing that is brought by only having this Estus flask with a limited number of charges. Where other people, I'm taking this from other people that have said it essentially, but I wholeheartedly believe the same thing, is that it's essentially a mistake allowance. It is, you have this many fuck ups you can make between bonfires or whatever. And that is just part of the act. And, whether someone thinks that's unfair or not, well, get good, right? That's the classic argument. You kind of trial and error. You fail.
I mean, you could argue that like a summon is kind of the same way, that it sort of helps you in a way that the game might. It's totally different. Like it's a totally different gameplay experience to fight a boss with and without a summon.
I was going to say I've done. Go ahead.
The multiplayer, whenever you can summon other people, that's even crazier. Like seems like. So I don't know if I hate that. I don't know, because you could.
I don't hate it. Because I've done runs with with friends. I've done whole playthroughs with friends. I've done runs with summons. Done runs without them. They're different games. Some bosses are trivialized when there's an extra person, because it's I think a lot of the times the boss AI just is not made or was not created to deal with multiple people. And so a lot of times what can happen is, a boss will be locked onto you, but then the summon hits them and then it locks onto them and then you can hit them and then you can just go back and forth like that. So it can really trivialize a lot of the game. Now, for some of the more difficult bosses, I think it can still be fairly challenging, but it's fun. I still like running through with my friends. I still do it. If someone wants to play, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Just because I like playing these games. I like running through the worlds. I like fighting the bosses, exploring. Exploring I mostly do on my own, but and it's funny because my first ever playthrough on Dark Souls 3 was with friends. That's what got me into the games, and then I would later go through by myself, and there was so much stuff that we just ran past because my friend had played it already, and so they were just helping me through the game, but there's plenty of stuff in the game that maybe they don't pay attention to anymore, that when I went through by myself, it was like a whole new experience. There was so much to the worlds that I was missing because a friend of mine had already played it and just wasn't even thinking about it. And so they're both fun, I think. Just different experiences. Playing through by yourself is definitely more challenging, I think.
Oh my god.
So like on this playthrough, Andrew, try and beat Ornstein and Smo without
a
Solaire.
summon. Yeah.
Try and do it.
I ran out of humanity my first playthrough, so I eventually had to beat them with nothing. And I will never forget. I remember texting Adam in all caps.
Oh no! He's on the rafters of Anne Orlando right now, Dan. He just fell off.
Good times.
Yeah, and there's clearly latency. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, what a well-made area. I love that place.
Look how pretty. So pretty.
I can't. I like the area. I don't know how well made it is, depending on what we're talking about. But I do like it. I like the whole game, despite some of it. Some of the. Oh no! Oh, okay. It went back up. I forget that one goes up and down. There's definitely some jank.
I got lucky.
But yeah, I do remember you texting me, Dan. It was like was it like midnight or something?
At least.
And you said, your girlfriend was sleeping, and so you couldn't scream.
I couldn't
but
yell
you,
the way I wanted to.
Yeah, you had to internalize.
I had kept it all. I almost had a brain aneurysm because I kept it all inside. And I was I had to leave the room, and I was just when you are doing the mannerisms where you would be yelling, but there's no almost like if
You're
someone's yelling
miming.
but you muted the
Pantomiming.
TV and they were just walking around just with their mouth open. Yeah, that's the moment I think that you become almost like an official member of the community is when you finally beat those pieces of shit. I hated that fight. I respect it. I definitely respect it, but oh, it's that may be. I'm trying to think. The hardest one for me. Let me think about this for a second.
I beat Gwyn, and Adam won't believe this, on my first attempt.
That's
No, I can
incredible.
believe it. I can believe it.
He wasn't
He is
crazy.
actually he is notoriously not a super challenging boss, which
Okay,
a
I
lot of
wonder.
Especially if you play
I-
the others.
well, no, not even Demon
that's
Souls
not your-
final boss isn't anything. It's like a little worm guy, isn't it?
No
Demon
summons
Souls
either.
final boss. What is the final boss of Demon Souls? I
It
don't
was
even
like
remember.
some
That's all
weird
for-
little like worm
name is
thing
the-
that you just walk up to and beat to death or
Souls
something.
Final boss.
You
No,
You
can
can
it's
kill
old,
Guinevere, can't you?
Some-
old King Allant,
Hmm?
I think.
Yeah, what
Did you
is he?
kill Gwyn-
Boss,
Oh, I need to.
King-
I really want to.
King-
I want to build the great sword thing. What does this do if I do in this? Does
the
this give me
true.
some-
Oh, the true King. Wow, I don't even remember this boss. Honestly, that game is very forgettable to me. I know that that's a
Adam,
very hot.
is the gameplay laggy, Adam or Daniel? If you're watching?
No, it seems to be okay right now.
Yeah,
It was
it
a little,
seems-
it was
it's
more
not like
laggy on it was more laggy on Minecraft, surprisingly. It
Yeah.
seems to be running
Yeah.
pretty smoothly right now, though.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, I
boss
missed.
I remember struggling with to the point of almost tears was and I know Adam doesn't share this sentiment. It was the now I can't remember his name.
was it in Dark Souls 1?
No, it was in 3. It was the nameless king. For some reason,
Oh,
that fight.
look, on my first on my first like 2 tries, or not tries, but the first 2 playthroughs that I fought him, I'm right there with you. That is a very challenging boss for many people, and I would still say the part. Wow, that was lame. The part that sucks about his fight is his first phase. I hate his first phase when he is on that fucking dragon, man. Like the camera is just garbage in
camera-
that moment. It's
the second
just,
phase
it's
was what
having
was
a
getting me.
seizure.
Oh, yeah. I never got
well,
through that fight.
I would happily tell you to go back and try again, you motherfucker.
I
If you can get
also
through that
would.
It was-
first phase and learn his second phase, I like that fight. There's a good rhythm
Well, the
to it.
second phase, what was tripping me up was he has a lot of like delayed attacks. The timing in that for some of his attacks kept getting me. It was very
can see
unique,
that.
almost Sekiro-like, like where they would employ this kind of almost like augmented rhythm from compared to a lot of the other. And he would delay, and I would go to swing, thinking, trying to time, and it would wait just an extra few like frames or whatever you would call it, a few extra blips.
Frames,
And he would get
I
me,
guess.
and it's a very weird timing. I don't know. Maybe I was overthinking it.
I
but
don't find his
The
fight
second phase got me
weird
more than
timing wise, but I
first.
might just be used to it. Because I would say that's a big issue I take with Elden Ring. Is a lot of the bosses' moves have these just retarded timings that don't make sense to me, and they're designed that way to catch you off guard. Which
that's
is
Sekiro does
which
that.
I think is fine. Sekiro's not too bad in that sense. I don't think it's pretty. I thought
I don't
Sekiro
know.
was pretty
There's some things in
consistent.
there that
Like
it's
like
a
there's
rhythm
some
game.
stuff where if it's some magic move or something from a boss, I'm not talking about Sekiro here, but if it's like a big old magic beam and you're like doing a wind up, Kamehameha style, well, okay, I expect a wind up because it's a big move and that's a window that you could potentially punish the boss on, but they would just throw it in for like sword strikes or something. Like even the very first like main boss that most people would fight in Elden Ring, who was it, Margit, the Fell Omen? Like he has some
Yeah.
just stupid moves where
Dude.
he's just holding his like stick above his head just for a while, as if like he's a child winding up his attack because he thinks he's an anime character, and then it shouldn't technically be, he shouldn't hit you any harder than he would if he just swung it normally, but for some reason they
That's a
just
hell
put
of
in
a
that
skill
timing
check.
to fuck you up.
That is a hell of a first, because he was the first real boss in that game, isn't he?
Yeah.
he's
I had more
I
trouble with him than
struggled
I
with
had
him for a
on
bit.
fucking, was it Godric? Is that his name? The next guy, the guy
What
who
was-
tears the
Yeah, the
dragon
grafted.
head out of the fucking.
Oh, that was such a cool.
I do
That
like
was a
him.
great
I like him.
animation.
He's a very easy fight, but I like him
He's
quite a
easy.
lot. I like his voice acting a lot as well. He sounds insane where he's just
Oh.
forefathers
the
one
fight?
and all bear
shit.
witness,
bad.
and he's just swinging around this dragon head, blowing fire, just like you crazy son of a bitch. You did.
Yeah, that was great. That
Oh.
was
Andrew is currently going up against the famed Anne Orlando Archers. Anne
I-
Orlando.
that's-
oh my goodness. The
I'm
guy, yeah,
pissed.
the knights or whatever with the I fucking
Yeah.
hate those things.
That
It's just
section
like that's
still
one of
makes
those
me
like
anxious.
platforming. To me, that is a form of platforming.
That's not platforming, I don't think.
When you have to, depending on
Oh.
the section, where you have to
No!
run across. The,
Oh my God, Andrew. It's funny your stream is delayed, so I
It
don't
is.
see.
It's
I
a
only
little
I heard your
delayed.
reaction before I saw what happened, and I just saw why you reacted
Yeah.
that way. That's funny.
I love
but when you have to run across, because you get past the knights,
Mhm.
right? Those big knights, and you run over to the whatever. If you're facing the castle, you run to the right. There's like those gargoyle things there, whatever. Those wyvern things that I'm trying to
you're
remember.
talking.
It's
Sorry,
been
when you
fucking
say
long
knights,
since
I got
played it.
confused at which ones you're talking about. Yeah.
But and then you go through the little awning, little gazebo area, and then you go across that ledge, and that's where they try to shoot you off, and then you have to get
Yep.
the one up on the top right that's like on the it's such a bullshit placement. Like
Yeah, I
around
know.
the it's so stupid. Then you have the one to the left shooting you. You have to worry about that too, and it's like, give me a break.
The
What
one to
was
the
the
left
fight-
doesn't affect you once you get to the top up there. It's just that one that
No.
you have to deal with, but it's still a pain in the ass. There's ways to kind of cheese them, but it a lot of times like the one I see the most often is where if you run up to him, like get within close proximity enough, then he pulls out his sword and then he starts running towards you. And if you're at the if you're the exact right spot, he'll like run across that little corner, and fall off, and then
You
you
fall
just
off.
can-
Yes, I have done that.
which I've gotten that to work like once. It is not consistent. I don't know where I need to actually be standing to get him to fall off consistently. So normally I just have to fight him, and it's God, I hate fighting him up there. It's so scary.
It is
Oh my
scary.
goodness.
Then you have to platform again with those. There's like those guys on the rafter,
Oh.
like the beams.
Yeah, that's what I
well,
get.
yeah,
Like
he's
monks
past
or
that
something?
now. You don't. The rafter stuff is before you get to the archers because you have to go
Yeah,
across
yeah,
the
yeah.
rafters
I'm just
to get to the
thinking of.
elevator.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
no, wait, yeah, you're right. So,
I nailed this the first time. I don't know why I'm having trouble now.
yeah,
Ooh.
wait. So let me. Where do you?
Because you
Oh,
die.
then you go inside, and then there's the paint. The painting is in the next area,
Well,
right?
that's in the same room as the rafters.
Oh,
So
is it?
when
Okay,
you get
when you
when you get
go-
off the rafters, you walk out onto the spinning lift thing, and then you turn it, and then that puts you in the position to either go access the bottom of the room with the rafters, or go up the steps towards in Orlando, the castle, and which that's where you can then get to the knights and all that. Oh, nice, Andrew. There you go.
Yeah, finally. All right, here we go. We're getting Ornstein and Smo. What was the fight in Elden Ring? I don't know, Adam, if you'll remember. I don't remember the name. It was like
God's
he
God's
ran at
Duo.
you like a. No, that one sucked
No?
too. That
Okay.
one I
hate
know
that
by
fight. Fuck
name.
them.
Oh my! Hey, there he is. He's gonna flirt with me here. You've been quiet.
Oh
Smooth
yeah.
swimming out there. I would relish.
I love
the
him.
chance-
He's everyone fucking. How could anyone ever hate him? He's such a kind.
I need to do
Who?
his side quest. His side quest is hard. You have to
Solaire.
find that secret passage, and if you walk in too quick, he becomes a evil demon a hollow that attacks you. I like this part because there's so many hidden little secret doors here. I really
no, it's
Theme
not.
is,
It's not if
oh,
you
that's
walk
3.
in too quickly. It's that if you have to find that area before his quest line gets there. So you would have to get to that. There is a way to get to that area. It's kind of secret. So the way you have to get there before you fight the what is he called? The something centipede, like the lava
Oh, yeah, the
centipede or something.
Demon centipede? Oh, maybe.
Demon centipede? Yeah, that might be him.
You're yeah, everything's a demon there.
Yeah,
In
and
the,
so
in the
you have
very
to
rough-
you have to find that area before you fight that boss, because you can summon him to help you fight that boss, and then right after that, that's where his quest line will end.
Okay.
But the way you can stop that from happening is before you kill the demon centipede, you have to. Do you know Quailana, the fire keeper
Yeah.
in the demon ruins?
Yeah.
Scary spider chick. You have to give her 30 humanity.
Oh my gosh. I can do that.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
that unlocks a secret way to get to that area without.
Wow. That's
And
expensive.
then the way you get to it is, I think you get to it right before you fight the demon fire sage, which is that shitty asylum demon ripoff that you fight
Yes.
before.
Yeah. You
the
fight
demon
3
centipede.
times.
Yeah.
You do fight him a lot. They
Oh,
just
this one's
copied.
so scary.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I should have known. I knew that was one.
Oh,
You can
and
tell by
see,
the chain.
The stream
chain
is
tells-
the stream is behind. So like as soon as you just said that, I saw the room you were in. I knew what was coming for you. As soon as you're like, oh no.
I usually attack them. I got lackadaisical there. The boss was towards the end. I want to say, was it Malekith or something? And he ran like a
that
dog.
boss.
I think oh my gosh, and obviously the last boss sucks. That big the elder
The
dragon
Elden
demon.
Beast. Elden Beast
Oh my
is
The
a
Elden
trash
Beast
boss. I
sucks.
hate that boss.
That thing
The
was
first phase is fine. I like fighting the
Yeah.
guy.
Radagon.
Yeah.
I don't hate him.
Yeah,
He's not super
he's
interesting
alright,
to me, but I like him more
just
than
fight the
the Elden
mob.
Beast. Just annoying. They apparently allow you to summon your horse in that fight now, so that you can catch up
no
to him.
way.
Yeah.
I beat it without it, so
Same.
losers.
But
Yeah, good.
what? Sorry, you keep trying to talk about which boss you're talking about.
That one, we just keep talking about hard bosses. I struggled immensely with I think it was Malekith. I want to say he had that big sword. I know that's not really
Yeah, it's not
Specific
specific
when it-
enough. I'm sorry. Like every boss in the game had a big sword.
that's every good boss. But he
Malekith-
runs really quickly. It's after you. It's towards the end. You're
That's
already
in
in the city.
Skyrim.
Well, no, Malekith is as a boss in Elden Ring, Tan.
Is it really?
Yes,
Wait.
you fought him almost certainly because you have to. It's part of the main game, if I remember right.
Oh, the
He's-
black.
Yeah, the
oh,
Black Blade.
Malekith.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
lion
Malekith.
guy. Yeah,
He was the
Because-
hardest boss in the game to me. That was the
I will
hardest.
give you that. Malekith is a tough fucking fight.
Oh my god, he's so
Because
fast.
yeah, he starts out as the beast clergyman.
Yeah,
and
that's what it is.
You get
yeah.
into a second phase where he turns
He's
into
more akin to a
Malekith.
Bloodborne
That's
boss.
such a cool name, by the way. Oh, the Beast Clergy.
I like him. I like his design. For some reason, I'm not very partial to like. There's a lot of lion enemies in that game. I don't know why. I just don't like them. Like
Yeah.
design wise, they're kind of. I don't know what it is. Elden Ring feels so detached. I know it's a different game and all, but it basically, it's basically Dark Souls, but just open world.
Yeah.
With some, with newer mechanics and stuff like that. But I don't know what it is, man. Something about the lion enemies I just don't like. They're not design-wise. I just don't care for them that much. That might be controversial. I just don't really like
remember much
lions
from
that
Elden
much.
Ring. It's kind of a forgettable game to me.
It is very forgettable for me. Even I've 100% of that game. I played through it 3 times.
The Elden Ring was my second Souls like, so to me, I thought it was an amazing game.
You may as
I
well
thought
just
it was-
call it a Souls game. It's made by the company that made the Souls game, so it's Souls. It's part of the Soulsborne. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what
It's
it is. Souls or Souls. I've seen Souls like.
Well, Souls-like
Souls-
is usually just to describe. I feel like most people
Lies of
describe.
P is like Souls-like.
Yeah, games
it's a-
made by other companies that made games similar to Dark Souls.
Oh, okay. That's an important distinction, I guess.
I mean,
yeah.
It's
that
to tell you
seems to
how-
just be how it's colloquially used.
How prolific they
Yeah.
invented a whole gaming genre. Like it really is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, I think that's
astounding.
hurting
And
them
you should
at this
play
point.
Lies of P. You would like it. Imagine like a Dark Souls game, but in the world of Pinocchio. Like if they kind of reimagine
Well,
the story
More like
of
Bloodborne.
Pinocchio. Uh, yeah, that's
At
whatever.
least aesthetically. I would say maybe even gameplay wise. I don't know if it's as
Yeah,
fast
gameplay it
as
is kind of
Bloodborne.
similar. It is and isn't. People like to say that there were distinct differences, but yes, it's close enough. I wish
Well,
Andrew you
yeah,
could play
yeah,
Bloodborne.
yeah, no,
Bloodborne will forever have a special place in my heart.
yeah, I
But
wasn't trying to say it's like a carbon copy or something. I just that's aesthetically a lot of people liken it to Bloodborne because it's sort of that Victorian era esque
yeah, that's true.
architecture, stuff like that. Um, and
Graphic.
then the mechanics are more similar to Bloodborne than they are Dark Souls in the sense that
Yeah.
like you don't really get armor in that game, do you? Like the or
No, no,
if
you
you
don't.
do, there's not like a lot of it because like same thing with Bloodborne. Like there's not a whole lot of there's not as much armor choices, not as many weapon choices. It's much more of a distinct few that you kind of pick which one you want to level up and max out and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you get like the kind of the boss weapons, like they kind of keep that same concept, and you level up the same way at the Stargazer, which is essentially the bonfire. I mean, there are definitely those similarities. It's certainly more faster paced, which I like. I like the faster paced games, which is why
Mm-hmm.
Bloodborne and Sekiro are probably honestly my one and two now. Sekiro really is a masterpiece to me. But it's great. I mean, it's not so much of a carbon copy where you're like, ugh, all right, give me something unique. It had a number of things that were unique in it. A lot of the Souls like games are they almost feel like cash grabs, like they copy so much from
Yeah,
the
yeah, I've
actual
seen
Souls
some
1 series that it's
bad
like, all right, well,
copies.
what do you have to offer? And then the things that they do have to offer that are quote unquote unique just aren't they just doesn't live up to it. Like if you're gonna create a game that's Souls inspired, it better live up to it. Like it needs to have that atmosphere and the gameplay,
Well,
etc.
I personally, I don't think any Souls-like game or not even any of the other Souls games or any of them made by From Software. Personally, they just do not match the same atmosphere I get from Dark Souls 1 in particular.
No, that's in a league of
I
its own.
just, I mean,
Even for Souls
that's really
games.
what
Like,
set the Souls games up to for like Demon Souls often gets credit for kind of starting it all, but then Dark Souls gets a lot of credit for popularizing this genre because a lot more people played it. I think because if I remember right, I think Demon Souls didn't get a release in the West initially. It was only in the
I
East,
didn't
like
know that.
Japan, stuff like that, and then Dark Souls got and was also a Sony exclusive. So and whereas Dark Souls was not, they wanted to make a sequel, but they didn't want to have it limited to just Sony.
Wait,
Um, and so they
Which is
made Dark
good. I think
Souls,
exclusives are fun.
which fixed some issues from Demon Souls and then created new ones, but also it just created a much larger audience, or it received a much larger audience because it wasn't an exclusive, and it got a release in the West. So that it really started it all, and also just the world. It feels more real to me. It's much more put together, in the sense that it's not just you run down this kind of linear area, okay, and then you move on to the next linear area. They have
Yeah.
way. It's been talked about to death. It's interconnected in the sense that you can access multiple areas from other areas, which is how real life works. It feels
Right.
more just like an actual world. So it's very much it has a
Ooh,
special place for me. And I played it. It was my second Souls game. I think a lot of people, the first one you play is probably going to end up being the most special to you.
yeah,
Um,
Dark Souls 3 for me.
like
That
Dark
Which
was
is
very
Souls
funny because that's
3, I love.
case for
I
me.
Yeah, I've played Dark Souls 3 the most, because I've played it like, oh God, how many playthroughs have I done for that game? Something like 27 or 28 technically. 9 of them being on my own between two different characters.
Ah,
Then another 8 or 9 with one friend and then another 8 or 9 with a different
Oh
friend.
my
Oh
god!
yeah, I love that game, man. It's so fun. Like
That's insane.
most of the bosses at this point, like especially early game bosses, are trivial. They are quite easy, but I very much love the late game bosses. I look forward to it, and I also just love exploring the world. And it can be, I don't want to use the word nostalgic, because that makes it sound like, oh, it was from 20 years ago. Oh my god, but it can be
No.
very, like, I'll be running through the worlds and I'm like, oh man, this is where it all started. And it's a unique experience for me, even though Dark Souls 1 is my favorite. Oh my god, Andrew. Fucking a knight and a mimic at the same time. Good lord.
Yeah, I'm not doing great.
Well,
Help.
and you're
What
doing
was,
fine from what I'm seeing.
actually,
The
the
stream
boss,
is
I
like
think
10
I
seconds
struggled with.
behind your voice, but
I think it's in Dark Souls 3. I think it's in. Isn't it in the Painted World? You fight. It's the chick that has like 3 phases.
That was mean.
yes, that's Dark Souls 3.
What
That's
am I
fucking
thinking of?
Painted World of Ariendel. You're
Yeah,
thinking
I like
of
that. I like that.
Sister Friede and
Oh,
her
my
dad. I
God.
can't remember his dad. Dude, that fight is stupid. That fight is
Yeah, that
stupid.
fight's
That
sad.
actually I lied. I think I struggled with that more than I did the Nameless King. I think that was my number one.
That fight is
Most-
so fucking
Yes,
hard.
because I remember messaging you and going, "Dude, I can't beat this. I'm
Yeah,
not
you were
going to be able to
considering
beat this
quitting,
fight."
I think.
I was considering giving up, and that was another Ornstein. That was like an Ornstein and Smo round, like version 2 for me when I finally beat her. It wasn't even this. I didn't have that. Afterwards, I was just tired. Like I almost did like a week of exhaustion. It was just like I was like, I can die now. I actually felt like I gave all of my person to beating that shit. Oh, that was horrific. Because is there 3 or 4 phases in that? I think
3. There's 3.
3. In that
Yeah.
third phase, when you've exhausted most of your resources and you're just tired and just your eyes hurt from just having to focus on so many things for so long, especially after doing so many run throughs of that fight, and you have to be on your shit even more for that last, because she's fast and she has all these crazy attacks, and it's just like, please have mercy, please just give me a break. Ah, that fight was hard. That was Andrew. You
That
haven't
was
done that DLC, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Did
That
you-
fight sucked. I remember that one being, right at the end of the DLC. You fight her, I think.
Yeah.
That's the end of one of the DLC, yeah.
What's the
Yeah,
second
no,
DLC?
it's Blue Dick.
The second DLC ends with Gale, Slave Knight Gale, which is personally, I think,
That's
my
right.
favorite fight of all
That's
bosses.
right. That's
I
a
really
great
like him.
fight. That's another hard fight.
What am I doing?
I
think
very much like him.
The Nameless King I never finished because I had played through Dark Souls 3 like just in a week. Just I'd done it all. Like I just play. And so by the time I got to him, I was kind of like, all right, I'll come back to this. And I just never did. I got caught up in something. I could download that and probably play it immediately. It probably has my thing saved. I do. What was the other? It was that. There was the Ring City. There was Painted World. Was there one more DLC in Dark Souls 3?
No, there's only 2. There's Painted World of Ariamis and then the Ringed City. Those are the 2.
Yeah.
Ring
Yeah.
City's great. The creatures or whatever, the guys in the Ring City are tough. They are not to be trifled with.
Oh yeah, those weird
Literally like the Ring
guys.
Knights or whatever. Those dudes are tough.
The ring knights are those giant
so
motherfuckers
cool.
with like the void heads or whatever. Fucking
They're cool.
insane.
They're cool looking, I think.
Oh yeah, I think they
Oh,
are
cool.
cool. They are not an easy enemy. I guess
Oh,
it's
no.
kind of hard to just run past them.
Help me, Solaire. Help me. I'm dead. Why would he just be
Anyway.
sitting there? I'm obviously struggling. All right.
Eh.
All right, D for Dark Souls.
D
D
for
for
Dark
Dark
Souls.
Souls.
Perfect.
Fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I could just talk about this shit all day, and we can keep going
How about
because
D
I'm
for
gonna.
Diphenyl
Oh.
Fluorescein? Can we do D for
Uh,
diphenylchlorothene?
I don't
No?
remember what that is. Is that something meth related?
Probably.
Diphenylchlorothene, first of all, is a band, believe it or not.
Well,
Of
I can
course.
believe that. Yeah,
The
easily.
lookup, I wish whoever has access to a screen that can share, show the logo for that band. It is hilarious.
Let
What are
me
they called?
go. Let me go find it.
Yeah, I can do it.
The logo for
Well,
that
I
band.
mean,
Yeah, it's like
I
a
can
slam
share it to
band,
the-
but it's a. I think it's a like a
No, I
very
can
acidic
share. I can show it
chemical.
to the listeners in the future. What are they called?
Diphenylchlorothene.
Well, yeah, you know what?
DIP.
Send it to our Facebook group chat. Or, well,
DIPH.
yeah, send it to our Facebook group chat. Oh wait, no, never mind.
How do you spell
Fuck. Hold on, I'm just gonna have to look it up myself.
DIPHEN.
HY chlorus.
Yeah.
Chlor. Oh my god. Di.
I can't. What is it? Diphenylchlorothene.
Chlorarcine.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it says band. Here's the logo. Ready? Oh wow, it actually is like viewer, whatever. It's like
Hang
viewer
on.
protect.
Well,
It's like
the album cover is absolutely going to be censored.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I think I found
But
it.
just
It's
the logo.
Their logo has like the what's that symbol
Yeah,
called?
toxic.
Like, yeah, the toxic waste symbol or radiation or whatever that is.
Yeah,
Let
that's
me download
essentially.
this.
I mean, that gives you an idea of what it is. It's essentially that. It's
Oh, I have to pee so bad.
how
God.
many?
Well,
how many-
I'm gonna go in a second, but
oh, go now.
no.
Smo 20.
Force you to pee. Do what? Is what funny?
I don't know.
Have
What
for
happened?
Ornstein
Okay.
Smoke.
Uh,
Did you
All right, let's see. Overlay, turn off. Oh,
have all
I got
20
it.
Estes for Ornstein Smoke? Hello,
What?
hello.
Yeah, I can
How many
hear you.
Estes am I allowed for
I don't
Ornstein
know.
Smoke? How many heals?
I don't know. However many you want. What do you mean?
20? Can I have all 20?
I don't care. It's your
I didn't know
game.
if there was like how many did. Oh, I can't. You only get 10. Never mind. You cannot kindle without further right.
how many did you have the
Oops,
first
all
time
right,
you did the
sorry.
playthrough?
I don't remember, but I'm not doing it with summons this time. You guys were trying to check
Oh,
the.
if
Yeah,
you're not doing it with.
so-
I mean,
oh wait,
you should really bring in as many as you can, regardless. Just because
I
why
mean, just
wouldn't you?
Andrew, bring
It-
in
I
whatever
can only
the
do
fuck you
10.
want. It doesn't really matter. I'm showing off. This is for anyone who sees this in the future. This is the fucking logo for diphenylchlorothene, the band. It is.
oh,
Well, it's a classic tree branch logo. For anyone that listens to metal, they'll be pretty familiar with this type of logo. For anyone who doesn't,
logo.
it is something wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway,
Shout out
Back
to
to
the
the
boys
stream.
in.
all right, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. Andrew, just
ahead,
fight
we'll-
them with
Wait,
whatever you have.
put it back
Doesn't
on my
matter.
fight.
It doesn't matter. Just get in there.
Put the
Fight
stream
'em.
back on the fight.
It is on the fight, you fuck. I'm going to the bathroom. I already said
No, it's
that.
still on diphenylchlor. Oh, okay, it is. It
This
is.
stream is behind.
Oh, this is gonna suck.
You can't see the updated
Yeah,
stream. It's like 20
you're right.
seconds
No,
behind.
you're right. I know.
Yeah.
I'm already gonna be dead here. I'm already done. Oh no. Oh god. Oh no.
My chess
How are you
strategy is
supposed
to
to
make
do
a bunch
this?
of erratic moves at the beginning to throw my opponent off and then lose the game. That's something I need
And
to
then
learn. I need to
lose the
learn
game?
chess. I think I would.
Who's
actually be
better to
pretty-
fight at the end, Ornstein or Smo?
I personally prefer fighting Smo. I like to knock
Ornstein's
out
fine.
Ornstein first. Because Smo is
Yeah.
much slower, especially once he gets 8
Yeah.
times the size. So
Actually, I think I fought Ornstein. Whenever you kill the big one, you only get one soul, don't you? You get the one of the bigger one.
yeah, it depends on what you want. So if you want Smo's soul,
I got Smo's last time, so we kill
So
Smo
then
this
get
time.
Ornstein's this time, just for whatever weapon or whatever he gives you.
Yeah, and just for the fun of it.
And just for the fun
I'm
of it.
doing all right so far. I'm not being too
That's
greedy.
D for Dark Souls. How about D for Dilophosaurus? Do you know what a Dilophosaurus is?
Yeah, Dilophosaurus could spit poison.
I don't know how
supposedly.
accurate that is. I think that may have been embellished. Let's see. Dilophosaurus
Yeah, I actually think you're correct.
poison, which is what that would be, or venom. It is venom. Just kidding. The dinosaur. This is factually inaccurate. There's no scientific evidence that Dilophosaurus spit venom and that the dinosaur had.
Wow. All right. Whoops.
Dinosaur.
Uh-oh.
That's another fucking inconsistency from good old Steven Spielberg or whoever. Isn't that a Steven Spielberg movie?
Well, yeah, and Velociraptors also weren't 6 feet tall, so that's another one.
true. Come on, Jurassic
Velociraptors
Park.
weren't that. And all dinosaurs more likely than not, had feathers.
Feathers.
They I think those are rare to find fossilized or whatever.
Of
Whatever
course
the
they are.
excuse is.
Think about it.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it. What? Go ahead. Explain that. Think about it. What?
Well,
Fossils
feathers
are
being
more-
something that would decompose way faster just because of their makeup. It's not like the calcified whatever marrow that makes bones. It's like not flesh, but it's like why flesh doesn't. It's not going to be nearly as preservable
That'd be
because
cool.
of the very nature of what it is, which would be cool.
Imagine we had dino.
Let's see,
flesh.
how fast do feathers decompose?
Or no, look up why don't feathers fossilize.
What are we?
5 to 7.
talking
Yeah, that's a better one. Why don't
Oh wow, I'm already dead. All right, good work. Idiot. I suck.
whenever they get this computer back, they're going to go, what the hell did he search?
about?
Feathers can be difficult to fossilize because they can detach from the body during decomposition, get scattered before the remains are covered by sediment and fossilization begins. The protein keratin in feathers may also impact their likelihood of fossilization. However, feathers are often found nearly intact at archaeological sites because they're tough. Come on, AI. The AI did the wrong there. That's how you know AI
Well, don't read
sucks.
the AI overview. It's very wrong very often. Go find the
Okay.
source.
Easier to degrade or get
Really?
scattered.
Is it wrong often?
Yeah. Every time I look it up, it because it's pulling from like multiple sources to give you information, and I found on several occasions that it will give you in the AI overview 2 pieces of information that contradict each other, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go
That's
find actual sources. And normally you can
Anyway.
find out why those pieces of contradicting information exist because there will be maybe different reasons for it. Whereas the AI overview is just giving you a very, very quick overview instead of giving you the reasons. And I fear the future and that people will only use that instead of looking up why things are the way they are. But whatever. Also, Andrew, in
fight it.
terms of who to kill first, who'd you kill on your first playthrough? In the second
I did.
place?
I got the Soul of Ornstein the first time, so I'm
okay.
gonna. No, I got Smo. Sorry, Smo. Goodness.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I was going to say,
confusing.
try and get the soul of Ornstein then, because you can make 2 different boss weapons
Yeah.
with each of their.
And I
souls.
haven't made any boss weapons yet. I want to use.
Absolutely should.
Well, I mean,
I just haven't
he doesn't have
been
to,
able-
but
I don't know.
I never made them.
I'd like to.
Like
That would
I never
make a
used any.
huge impact.
I never used any boss weapons for my playthroughs. I
Oh, I
used a Black Knight greatsword.
Oh, yeah, I think
or
I
just a
have
Black Knight sword. I just used a Black Knight sword for everything.
Yeah, that one. Oh wow, I always use the boss souls. That's funny. I loved getting boss weapons.
I only.
I'd
I
like
have,
to. How do I do it? How do I get? Because I have the Soul of.
Bring it to
You have
Don't have to
so
go to
the way you do it in this game is that you have to have a specific type of weapon, and
Yeah.
some of them you can do through Andre, and then others you can do through
the giant blacksmith.
the giant blacksmith. And,
to go
Yeah.
Andre the Giant specifically. You have to combine the two.
Wow, that's weird. What are the odds
yeah,
of that?
this game's a lot more complicated with that stuff, and there's a lot of weapons.
Have to
And
go to Andre 3000.
like
Rapper.
one of the there's like 3 different weapons that require like the same boss soul for one of them. So unfortunately, it requires multiple playthroughs. Well, not unfortunately, I don't mind that, but yeah, just be careful not to be using souls.
Yeah.
You gotta off
Yeah,
to your
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I learned that the first time the hard way. About using the souls. You can give them to whatever his name is, the big ugly lizard asshole, and he'll give you
The big lizard
God.
asshole.
um
Yeah, the
France or
snake.
whatever. The King
Oh,
Seeker.
Frampt.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
His
yeah,
brother
yeah.
Frump or whatever.
I like
his
the
name
noise
is.
that he makes every time you give him.
or he's like, fucking wait. No, that's when he's super excited about
Yeah.
something.
What's his
can't-
brother's
Oh.
name? Doesn't he have a
It's-
counterpart?
Yeah, his down in the abyss. It's oh, what
Yeah,
is
what
his
is it?
fucking name? It's Frampt and fuck, I can't remember his
Oh.
name.
Mm.
I've done his version of the playthrough much fewer times, so hang
Maybe
on.
it's Frump. It's Donald Frump who's the other guy.
Oh.
Yes.
What are the odds of that?
No,
Frampt.
is it? I don't think
Oh,
it
it's
is.
Koth. It's Kaathe. Koth or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Where did they get the inspiration for the names?
Fuck
like
if
what
I know,
style?
dude.
Is it like
They just
Gothic? Like what are these? Like what
They
style
just-
would you call this?
bodily functions,
know.
like they sneeze and go. "Bam." Oh, excuse me.
I think they pull from all sorts of older European names, so
Ornstein
it's not
is
strictly
Druid.
Gothic or medieval.
Ornstein and Smo sounds like a law practice. Here at Ornstein and Smo, you'll get the best service from.
So I know, yeah, I don't know where they get all the names from. Like I know, do you know in Elden Ring the wolf guy Blythe? But it's spelled like Blaidd.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
that is apparently a traditional Welsh name, Blythe.
That's cool.
It comes from the Welsh language. So.
That's actually
I
really cool.
pronounced that so wrong the first time.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
embarrassed.
I mean, yeah. Everyone on Earth probably went Blade,
Like,
except
hey,
for
man,
the 3
that
Welsh
Blythe
people that
guy.
played this.
I thought you were lying when you told me, and you're like, "No, it's Blythe or whatever, Blythe." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, it's not. Read it." And then I
That just
found. I'm
sounds
like,
like a
"Oh
great
my
neighbor.
god!"
Yeah. Welsh
So
is
Adam,
a weird
tell
one.
me, what do I do? So, like, I want to turn my claymore into the
So,
Gwyn.
what you
It needs
first
to
have
be
to
plus
do
10?
is you got to get a weapon first. Well, wait, you want to turn your claymore into what?
I'll just revert my claymore.
Well, okay.
Back
So
to
here's
plus 10.
here's what I'm going to tell you. This is a time where I would just consult the wiki because there's a
Okay.
specific type of
Yeah.
sword. It's not necessarily a claymore. It would be like a
Well, no,
great
claymore's
sword.
a great sword.
Yeah.
The claymore
So
is a great
consult
sword. So,
consult Fextra Life, the wiki. I think that's the
God.
official wiki.
it sounds like a porn site. All right.
I
It
know,
does.
it's,
Sounds
but
like
it's like it's F.
Life or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like F and then the word extra and then life, Fextra Life. But if you just look up like Dark Souls boss weapons, that will be a link that pops up and it'll give you a full list of all the boss weapons and which weapon you need to use to
Dark
then
Souls
turn into
Rule
that.
34.
Because I think the way it works is I think you have to get weapons to plus 10, like whatever weapon it is, get it to a plus
Yeah.
10 and then and then you can do the upgrade into the boss weapon, which is not done in the same menu that you would upgrade the weapon normally.
Because it's reinforced.
And yeah, unfortunately it requires quite a lot of resources.
They make you work for it.
Yeah, like I'm trying to 100% this game right now, and I think the only things left I have to do are get a few boss weapons. And I fucking like an asshole. I accidentally used a soul the other day. Well, I say the other day. This is a couple months ago. It actually demoralized me. I stopped playing for a little bit because it pissed me off so bad that like I pissed myself off. I accidentally used a soul I needed because I thought I didn't need it anymore, and I needed the souls to be able to upgrade something else to get it to a boss weapon. And so I used one of the boss souls, and yep, Turned out now I have to do a whole nother playthrough just for that one boss, and it is not an early game boss. It's a late game. I'm pretty sure it's one of the final 4, and I was just like, "Fuck me, man!" I was so mad.
Moonlight
Yeah.
armor.
Definitely look up a wiki for the boss weapons.
I need to know if that picture of Dolly. Somebody made a custom rug of Dolly Parton holding a Moonlight Greatsword, and I need to know if it's real or not.
That is absolutely not a real photo. Wait, are you
No.
a rug or the
I
photo?
don't know. I need to both, I guess. 'cause
Well,
if
the photo is
real-
absolutely photoshopped to have her holding a Moonlight Greatsword. But then the rug, I don't know. Maybe I can believe someone got a rug of that, but I don't know how many.
Then-
I don't know what the crossover for Dolly Parton and Dark Souls fans are. Like, I don't, you know, a lot of
If
people
the-
love
no,
Dolly
if the
Parton.
rug's
So.
real, if the rug is real, then the photo could be real, right?
No, what do you mean? Well, I mean,
If someone just took
what do you
a
mean by
photo
real?
of a rug,
Hold on. Hold on.
What do you mean
This
by
is the
real photo?
classification of semantic differentiation. Whenever Daniel means photo, he means the photo taken of the rug, not
Is that what you mean?
somewhere Dolly Parton was in a studio holding I would assume would be
No.
fake
No,
Moonlight
that's
Greatsword.
not-
No, I don't think he does. That's what I was trying to get to the bottom of here.
let me find the photo of it. Hang on,
Well,
Dolly
so-
Parton.
Are you questioning
Moon-
whether the photo of the rug is real or whether the photo of Dolly Parton holding a fucking Moonlight Greatsword is real?
No. I'm just talking about the rug. I just want. Yeah, look. Anyone know where I can get this rug of Dolly Parton holding the moon? This looks like a real rug that someone custom made.
Well, it probably is.
Yeah,
Like,
Meaning that the photo was legitimate, is what I'm saying.
oh,
That
okay.
it's not a doctored
yeah.
photo.
Send
what
it.
you're saying is the rug legitimate? Is it a real rug that somebody
okay.
then?
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
we-
sure. It could be. I don't know. Send it to the group. Send it to the Discord. Send it to our Discord group chat, just because I want to put that on
This
stream because it
image-
sounds funny.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my 20 X amount of years. Hang on. Let me.
Giant.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the photo they used to make the rug is obviously photoshopped.
Well,
but
yeah, that's what I was trying to get to the bottom of here because it's confusing.
Here.
Photos within, it's images within
No,
images.
don't make it a bookmark. Hang on.
How do you? Okay, wait. This is weird.
Here.
Do I need a particular? Do I need a certain ember in order to be able to do boss weapons?
Yes, actually, you will need. There's multiple in the game. There's multiple embers, and you give them to either Andre or the giant blacksmith.
I need to find whoever. I want to buy this
and
rug. I
no
would
need to worry.
unironically-
They can't accept embers that they can't use, so you don't have to worry about
Greatest
giving them the wrong one or something.
I have a Claymore +5.
Did you send the photo to the Discord, Dan?
I did, yeah, the link.
The
I will
link.
put whatever I want in my office. Gosh darn it! If I want a
Um,
rug of Dolly Parton, first of all, Dolly is an icon. So
Why
we
do
should
I
always,
wait? What is this a link to? Why can't just? Oh, it's on
it's just
Twitter. Just download the
Twitter.
damn image and then send it. I don't want to open
Just Twitter.
fucking. Well, I know I don't want to open that. Right? You don't understand what I'm dealing with on my end. I only have 2 monitors. I can't open that right now without having it display over other things on our stream.
Or you can just click. You can just click the image and it'll pop up. Like you
I
have to go to
did
the
click
link.
the image. I can't just download it though. That's my problem. It's not like Messenger where you can just click hold on.
Fine,
let
hang on.
me try again. But when I right click the damn image, it doesn't give me the option.
Hang on. Save image as sure. Yeah.
Yes, do that and then just send it. Because
I'm getting shot. By
Wow,
somebody
what
with a
was the
boom.
noise you just made? Why'd you make that sound? What
That's
was that?
the file name. Because
Why is that the file name?
that's just what the computer defaults to. You know, whenever
just
it's
all
like
Oh,
save
letters and
zero
numbers.
x 781328UX, and you're like, yeah, sure. Here, there you go.
Let's see if it lets me download this.
It should.
Yes, there we go. Save image. Good God.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it is. It's Jessica Sky Diner 3Z.
Like you're speaking like a Scandinavian language.
Inga Dinga Durgan.
Dinga Dinga Durgan. Yeah, that's
Your
what that
file
is.
name.
Where the
It's
fuck did it
everybody
save
in
it?
Iceland. I love their accents. Their accents were so cute.
Oh, I don't know
every
if you
day
can
with
say
Lee
that.
Erikson.
Uh-oh.
It's a cute accent.
Oh,
It was a friendly accent. They're very friendly. Just hello. I'm like, hello there. Whatever.
Hinga
Olaf.
Dinga.
Yeah. Would you like some more cod? That's more Irish.
That was very, yeah, that was.
Very Irish. I didn't mean it. I'm trying to.
Usually he was showing it before. Look.
Really, I can't make it any smaller? Okay, well, whatever. The stream is just going to get a weird version of
Yeah.
this.
Anyway.
I gotta fix Discord again.
So
Are there
that's-
two-
That's
I'm one of the viewers on here. Who's the other viewer on the stream?
It shouldn't be me.
All right, might be my family.
Your
it. I believe it is a family member
oh,
who,
that's
for all of our
weird.
safety.
Well,
I
if they
will-
are listening, do not comment. Why
Why
wouldn't?
not?
Or
Spirit of
don't say
anonymity.
don't say who anyone is.
Yeah, don't
please.
expose our
Yeah,
aliases.
Yeah, don't expose our
keep us from
racism,
getting
please.
doxxed and fucking have our houses.
Yeah.
Oh
Those are
god, what an image
job.
of this stream that I'm looking at. It's just Dark Souls
Oh,
gameplay.
we did say our
partially
names,
in the
though, didn't we?
background. Well,
We said our
we-
first names,
we've
but there's
said
a
our
million
first
of them.
names. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this is the image of Dolly Parton holding a moonlight greatsword as a rug. So there we go. We finally got that figured out. So now that is, I guess, on the stream, and anyone that sees this can enjoy it.
It's the greatest image.
Goodbye. Anyway, we're now back to Dark Souls.
Yay!
That's another D for Dolly. Oh, I felt that.
D for Dolly, yes. Well, like what kind of dolly? Like a camera dolly?
Yeah, like the things that you use to move big boxes. Get the dolly.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, the dolly partition. I don't know. Can't think of anything. Yeah, that's terrible. Shut up. Fuck you. Play Dark Souls. Entertain me.
Are you not entertained? New
Hey,
London.
you know what? Maybe that's something we can talk. That's something we could maybe talk about when it comes out. Is Gladiator 2? Maybe when does that come out? Is anyone else super
Gosh.
disappointed and not ready for that movie? Because that's me.
Oh,
It's just all these are such cash grabs. I'm just so over it. Twisters. What other sequels are coming? Let's
Our
see.
first commenter. It's on Chickpea. I'm not sure what that means. I'll be honest.
I do.
Oh.
I do.
Oh, so it's some sort of in joke. Okay, I
Way
see.
to talk in
It
code.
is.
Well,
All right,
Only
here
for
we go.
cold people.
Not really an in joke. It's just. All right, let's see how good this weapon is.
oh wait,
Well,
I also know
my-
what that means. Never mind.
I'm fat rolling. That is not good. Oh no. Oh no. right.
What was I just? Oh, hold on. Let me look up when the second Gladiator movie comes out because I have very
Let's
low
see.
hopes for
Sequel
that.
movies 2024. Let's see. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, because we need
God.
another fucking Planet
Well,
of the Apes.
that's
movie.
been out for a while. That's on Hulu now. I just saw it up there.
What?
Also,
Yeah,
Gladiator 2 comes out
Ghostbusters.
November 22nd. So, it won't be in time for our G episode, but maybe we can still talk about it when it comes out.
Oh,
'Cause-
I Spy, The Eternal City. I don't know what that is. Beverly Hills Cop. Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey. All right, hang on.
oh yeah. So
Hang on.
hold on.
What?
Let me give you some backstory to this. So Winnie the Pooh entered public domain in the last couple years because of how long it's been around. And so the very first thing someone did with it was make a horror movie called Winnie the Pooh. I think it was called Blood and Honey. And so they're making a second one. It's a very cheap like B horror movie. So
Absolutely. You
Has
didn't
it been
have to tell
100
me.
years since Winnie the Pooh came out?
I believe so.
Wow.
Hang on. Let me
Wow.
double check.
I think that's how long it takes.
Could you imagine
Wow.
still being alive and being told
Original.
that Winnie the Pooh, like imagine you were like a little kid when it came out.
Yeah.
Imagine being, hey, great, great, grandma, Winnie the Pooh is public domain and you just die of a heart attack. It just gives out.
1925 apparently is when Winnie the Pooh first came
There's
out.
people still alive from the 20s,
sorry.
I think.
Right.
Let's see, oldest living person.
Yeah, like you can use Beethoven's music, I think, for free.
Of course, they're
Can
in
you?
Spain.
Yeah, well,
Well,
it takes I think it's
actually,
100 years for it to become royalty free.
Well, hold on, but how does that work in the sense that because if
Or, sorry,
you were
public
like the versions of it that we hear now are most likely not 100 years old. It's recorded by newer symphonies and stuff.
Well, but
so-
like the original music can be adapted to whatever
Okay.
you want now, no matter what. So if somebody happens to pay money for that, that's on them. But in terms of
Okay.
using it, you won't get copywritten. You can't.
well,
whatever.
if you re-record it, I guess you won't get copywritten. But if you can't, like, I can't just go off and play like if the London Philharmonic recorded a version yesterday and put it out today, I
Sure.
couldn't just play that on stream. Yeah.
No, right. I assume not.
Which is fine.
That's a good
I'm okay with
question. I would assume not. No,
Yeah.
I would assume not. This is a cool weapon. I haven't used this one. I messed up, so I've got to use a better weapon. Different weapon.
I need to mod Dark Souls so I can now play as Dolly.
The stream is lagging like crazy now.
Is Dolly,
Is
Dolly
it?
Parton's dead, isn't she? Is she still alive?
No, she is very much still alive.
She's kicking, I think.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
hold on, let
good
me
for you,
look her
Dolly.
up. I'm pretty sure she's alive. Unless I'm insane, but
She's probably 1,000. How old is Dolly Parton?
she is 78.
Yeah,
Wow.
so same thing.
Damn, born in
Is she
46.
still on? Let's see.
It's
I'm
crazy.
curious if she's
well,
still active.
that depends on what you would call
Dolly Parton now.
I don't personally.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's a gilf.
No, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Whenever she-
God.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't have anything against her. I just plastic surgery out the ass. It's not my thing.
Yeah, there is that. That's true.
I can't personally.
Yeah, those things are definitely
Agree.
propped up with some silicone. Other than that,
Nothing against her as a person. All right. I
Ben
No,
Franklin
she's
said
great.
just don't
he
find her
preferred older women
physically.
because they came with their own natural birth control, which I find to be
That's
funny.
true.
Oh my god.
He was insane. He used to enjoy getting enemas from younger.
Whoa, hold on. Before you
I can say
continue
that,
that
right?
sentence, no. Yes, you can, but
Are
before you
we
continue,
talking about?
I missed it. Who the fuck are you talking about?
Ben Franklin. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I completely missed that.
I
That's
also
a weird
know
thing
that.
to also know historically. Why is that historically known?
Because he was extremely well known because he
Yeah,
helped he invented bifocals.
yeah, but why would you know that he likes enemas? That's a good point.
Because I'm
See
a
if that's.
elastic
I'm not
fella.
using my computer for that one. Did Ben Franklin like getting enemas?
Yeah. Put that on your, computer search history.
I'm not putting it on the work computer. Ben Franklin loved to compose in the nude.
This isn't going well already.
See the
Oh,
enema? I don't
no.
see that. It said that he liked to compose in the nude, which is fine.
What does that even mean?
Probably like write his letters while he was dangling out everywhere.
Compose? Oh yeah, I guess compose. Compose letters.
Maybe he wrote music or something. I don't know. But yeah, letters
I mean-
probably. The composed letters.
I guess if you're
Maybe
in
he
the
wrote-
privacy of your own home, do whatever you want,
Yeah, look, we came
But
into
I-
this world naked.
But I mean,
Right.
you know what's funny though? For that to be publicly known, either he had to have been found out doing that, or he just told someone. Which maybe
Yeah, maybe just.
maybe he's just super
When
confident
I
in
write
himself.
my letters to my woman, I like my butt cheeks to be touching the seat with nothing in between them. What about you? Look, Ben, just put together the fucking post office and get out of my room, please. Thank you.
Hey, here's a fun little thing. So it's the Olympics have been going on this past week, and
Oh, we are more than aware of it.
well, yeah, But I saw there was a when I was at the beach. You know, my parents they've just anytime we were in the condo we were staying in, they would have the Olympics on, and there was a commercial for Wells Fargo. I didn't know this. Wells Fargo was originally like essentially a postal service. Like they delivered things via train.
Yeah, that's their logo. Their logo
Or
is
maybe
the
maybe it wasn't a commercial. Maybe it was some old Western movie my dad was watching or something. I don't know. But yeah, either way, like it was said. I can't remember what it said. Wells Fargo something. It was on the side of a train, and I was like, "What the hell? They've been around that long?"
Yeah, they've been
It's
around
crazy.
for a while. They've been exploiting people for 100 years.
Well, I'm sure it was not so nefarious at one time, but it is interesting to see how companies started. Like I didn't realize they were that old. That's crazy to me.
When was banking invented?
Yep, and now they have lobbyists
talking about
and
Dolly Parton and Winnie the Pooh while playing Dark Souls. Yes, that is a thing that is happening on this stream.
that's our niche. Whenever we go
That
to
is
really
our
start
niche.
marketing, you're gonna go. Did you ever want a streamer that talked about Dolly Parton, Dark Souls, and then finding a way to actually cross them over? Well, you're in the right place.
Yeah, we've got the perfect thing for you.
Yep.
Every
Zero
thought
viewers.
counts. There we go. That's the
Every
podcast for
thought
you.
counts.
You want to
I know,
hear
they
about
started
Dolly
out
Parton,
as
Winnie the
like-
Pooh, and Dark Souls all in one stream? There you go.
Fucking deep philosophical debate. Like Dolly in a Moonlight Greatsword.
No, yeah, this is definitely a much
just
more
what it-
chill, off the
Fame
cuff
got the
stream
best of
today.
us. That's all right.
Yeah, I
D
don't
for
care.
Dark Souls and Dolly. I'm sticking by that. We need one more D.
Do we?
D for Dark Souls. I like having three. Diphenylchloroquine. There it is.
Yeah, we already had it. Yeah, we've already
That's
done our
true.
job.
All right,
we can
good.
just
Just
end the
making
stream
sure.
now.
Look.
We've done our job. Like
Balances. How
I
long
know
has
we
it been?
never
2
made it a
hours?
rule that we had to cover 3 topics for each letter, but you know what? That was always a rule. I don't care what anyone in the future says. That was always a rule.
Good
We already
things
did
come
our
in
work.
3.
Yeah, they say that. That's like that's a not a rule, but like a thing that I think happens
It's kind of a trope.
in comedy. You know,
comes
it's
in
like
Yeah, the rule of threes. Yeah. Yep.
like whenever there's a funny line or like a short funny line or something, they always say it like 3 times. It's weird that because I know that, and whenever I see it in the movie, I'm like I have trouble separating my meta knowledge of that from the joke I'm seeing. Because I'm just like, oh, they're gonna say it 3 times, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep, look at that. Because that's
So much that's just
funny.
predictable. I think that's one of my biggest problems with most media, whether it's a song,
Oh,
a movie. It's so predictable now. You can tell where the punchline's going to be set if it's a comedy or if it's a horror. You know the jump scares come in, or even
Yeah.
a lot of the shows I watch now, they'll introduce a new character and they'll pretend to be on the side of the good guys. I was in Yu-Gi-Oh, the GX I was watching, and they introduced this person.
wow.
I'm like, this person's totally in on. Not that that's new, but like that. I'm just using that
Well,
as an example.
unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh is very not
Right.
subtle at all. They'll introduce
No,
a
I
new character
know,
who's like,
I'm
"Hi,
that's just a reference.
my name
That's
is
just a-
Exabulb. I'm on
Well-
your side. I promise
Oh
I'm
yeah, and it
good."
was like, oh, you need help guarding these cards, and the
Oh,
academy
Adam.
is called the police to help, whatever. And
You
then they
should
ended
be
up
voice
being in.
acting, Adam.
That's just one example. Like I see
was
that
good.
trope everywhere. I'll just be like, oh, it's so. I just know what's gonna happen. I just know.
What happened?
Every now and then I'll see a little twist, and I'll be like, ah, okay, but like, there's no. I'm trying to think of the last movie. Probably one that you showed me. The end of The Prestige was fucking great.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
What-
really.
All I'm gonna say, don't spoil anything, because anyone in the future that hasn't
No,
seen
no, I
that movie,
won't.
please God, no
No,
one
the,
spoil. But just God,
the
anyone
movie
that
we
ever
just
sees
saw-
this in the future, watch The Prestige,
Yeah.
please. It's so fucking
the
good.
Christopher Nolan movie we just watched.
Oh,
Memento.
Memento,
That was
also another one.
excellent.
Well, I mean, The Prestige is also Christopher Nolan, but yes,
I know. I would.
yeah,
I would give
Memento
him
was
my
super
body-
cool. Memento was really cool.
Oh, that was just the. Because I genuinely didn't expect that was going to happen. And that one movie was from like what 04, I think. The movie's like 20 years old.
Oh my God, it is. Yeah, The Prestige is
Christopher
from like
Nolan has never
'07.
made a bad movie. There, I
That's
said it.
not true. I
And
will fight you
nobody
on
can
that.
debate me.
I can't
I am
believe he didn't
objectively
come up
right.
in the C episode. How did he
Son
not
of
come
a
up?
bitch. I'm sorry, Christopher. I failed you. I failed you. I am his number one fan. I never thought I would be the number one
Holy
fan
shit.
of a
Dan,
like. I
Memento
would
came
wear
out in
clothing with
2000.
face
I don't know.
Wow.
The Prestige came out in 2006. I was close. I said '07.
He's amazing.
He
really
has definitely
is.
made
Like
some
Oppenheimer.
amazing movies. I will give you that for sure. Not everything he's done.
Like
I don't
fine if
think
he
is very
bites
good.
off more than he can chew, whatever. He still is synthesizing these amazing ideas into a film, even just attempting that and coming up with what he does. Is it the plot? The plot's always no. Okay, sure. I can criticize Tenet all day. I've changed my mind after discussing with you. Sure, I'll
Really?
look at it objectively. But just to tackle a theme like that and do it in a way that's almost like a docudrama, like that's kind of how I see Tenet. It's like a docudrama. It's so cool to
Just
wrap your mind around like the fifth dimension, these crazy physics, and turn it into a movie. You have to be a genius to even be able to communicate that or to
Well,
like where
yeah,
I mean,
but
most people wouldn't even
I would argue that
begin.
it doesn't get communicated well enough, so maybe he's not the genius, right? But also,
It does
just
for
for
the big brain.
just for clarification, that's not the theme of that movie. That is the like that's
No,
the
it's not.
plot, essentially.
Well, sure. The theme
I don't know what
it
the
definitely
theme of
had
that movie
revolving
really is.
around physics. I mean, that was
I
big
that's not
point,
but that's
even
not
from the
like
beginning.
that's not the theme though. The theme of a movie, like you would say, is something more.
the story.
It's more like
Well-
when you talk about the theme of a movie, you say, "Oh, this has a theme of forgiveness or something." So, or like think about Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's maybe a theme of acceptance in that movie,
Idea, premise, or
of
purpose
family,
of the movie.
something like that.
So like time really is, and he's done time several times, like with Inception and
Well,
Interstellar.
you could say time.
The idea,
wouldn't-
premise, or purpose is what a
I-
theme by definition is.
Well, what I would say
So-
is I wouldn't say like time travel is a theme. I would necessarily. I would say you could say that
would.
time is a theme in the sense that you can show like the passage of time or how time,
The heart of
affects
the
us
movie.
all, sort of something like that. But whereas just the act of time traveling or reverse time, something like that, I would not consider that a theme. You're showing our Discord right now.
There you go.
Andrew.
It should be back.
Huh?
How about now?
You just shared.
Well,
the
I
Twitch
mean, yeah,
thing.
you're sharing your screen, so that's all I'm saying. Not that there's anything in it for anyone to see necessarily. I'm just,
Let's see. I'll watch you play Dark Souls. I need to sign up for Twitch.
but no, you don't. Well, do you? Yeah, you might. Just pull up our stream, Dan. Just mute the stream, and then you can
Yeah.
you'll be watching the same thing.
uh,
You'll be seeing the
give
same
us some
thing that
views.
Andrew is seeing.
yeah.
Increase
I'll
our
be
viewer
for-
count by 33%, please.
Yeah. But yeah, for themes, it's usually more of like a subtle, well, depending on the movie. You would be looking at it is a topic. It is essentially something that the movie is covering. It's just not like usually in what we consider good movies, it's not something that is overtly stated. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but it is usually, it's not so much the plot. The plot is what is essentially occurring in the movie, the events that are happening. And story, I believe, is different from plot. I don't know if I have the knowledge to make the distinction, but I'm pretty sure there is a difference.
I'm not sure.
But the theme
moral
is
and-
essentially something the story is covering, or you would look at the whole story and say, "Oh, this like the character
Yeah, okay.
journeys stuff, like the things they go through. It kind of is talking about, maybe
Yeah, so maybe
a
that's not the
theme
right
of this or that. I would just say it's just maybe the topic being covered. Like I would say, plot is where I would put. Like when you talk about the fifth dimensional stuff, that's just part of the, or maybe that's part of the story. I damn it, I need to
Yeah. Either way, the
figure out my
component, whatever
definitions for both of them.
component it is, like
But
to
yes,
incorporate that, and there were definitely some, and I'm sure he would even admit that there were loopholes or
I would hope so
little.
because
I would like to
you
think
know,
so.
like I would hope that he could hear some legitimate criticism of his movies and go, yeah, that's valid, and then use that in the future and maybe go, okay, maybe I wasn't thinking about these parts hard enough, and so I should make sure to, iron out some of the kinks of these of smaller
I mean, what a
areas.
hell of a concept to try
Well,
to
oh, believe me, I
encapsulate.
get it. Yeah, I couldn't tackle that. That's crazy. And
I don't even know where to
considering
begin.
the topic itself, whether I like or dislike that movie, I guess I'll give him some credit for trying. But ultimately, I don't think, I don't really know what it did for the movie. Just presenting me a concept doesn't make me think it's necessarily a good movie.
That's fair.
It's just one of those things that I don't necessarily give full credit for trying. You get like I don't know, 5 to 10% from me for trying
Yeah.
something. And
Well,
normally,
that's why I like the term docudrama, because he
but
explains the concept. Like,
but it's
is
not.
the plot amazing? No, I don't think that the plot is particularly groundbreaking. Really, it's kind of a
What the hell
standard
is a
bad
docudrama
guy.
though?
So a docudrama. Have you ever seen Andrew? Do you remember Perfect Disaster?
No, that's what's happening right now
Perfect
on
Disaster.
screen.
It was on the Science Channel, I think, and they would essentially reenact like superstorms and things that could happen, scientific or like
Well,
meteorological things that could happen, and they would act out like what it would be like if it was real life, kind of like a movie, but the purpose was meant to be educational. Like if you look up a docudrama, it's kind of literally
I
what like the
well,
the, um the conjoining of the words, whatever that I can't think of the word.
Well,
The
sure, but here's what I was
blank.
initially thinking. I've pulled up the definition, but what I was initially thinking is essentially documentary and drama. But documentaries are
Yeah.
typically based on real things, and a drama is I don't know how to necessarily define it, but
Based on,
normally,
or maybe, yeah, let me see.
but
So based off of
the
real events.
definition, according to, again, this is Oxford Languages, this is on Google. Definition of docudrama is a dramatized television movie based on real events. So I
Okay,
wouldn't
so
consider
then,
Tenet that necessarily.
so then it's more of a
I know what you
like a
mean. They're
realistic
using
fiction.
they're using like real concepts and stuff, real science to make these movies. So
Yeah,
it's not doesn't quite
almost
meet
meant
the
to be more educational in a
I would
way,
still
like
just
for
call it
theoretical
science
physics.
fiction. It's sci-fi is somewhat what I would call that,
Yeah,
because
I
it is
guess realistic.
still because as
Right,
far as we
or
know, people can't do the things they're doing in that movie. It's playing with real concepts, but then making a fiction out of them. It's sci-fi, which
I
is
don't
how
know.
I would
There's got
describe
to
it.
be a word for that, for like a
Sci-fi,
for
totally.
yeah, but with the intent to, not that his intent maybe was to inform, but
Are we talking about
almost kind of like
Interstellar?
how it.
Talking about
Say that
Tenet.
again.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Interstellar also falls into this category though, of
Yeah,
real
Yeah,
it's
I
like
concepts being used
projective
for a drama.
sci-fi, like theoretical sci, like where you go, well,
Well,
we
no,
don't
you
know,
just
so I'm gonna.
why would you say theoretical sci-fi? It's science
that's
fiction.
just
The
No,
sci-fi.
because
theoretical
black
part is
holes
already baked into it.
and because technically what they do in the movie, they are sort of positing that it could be done in a weird creative way,
Well,
like
but
I,
that's
like if you just say aliens,
uh-huh.
even that I don't
Well,
know.
sci-fi. Well,
I guess
it's
so.
science fiction.
Science fiction.
It's the whole point of science fiction is that it's very like you take real things and you kind of extrapolate on them in a fictitious way that in the best
That's
science fiction
fine.
movies feels
Yeah.
believable, like Jurassic Park. The way they did that feels believable.
Right,
I
like
don't
you
think
could
it's
Almost
almost
to
do it.
say
scientifically
you couldn't
accurate,
do that. Like I think, I don't know,
but
science. So like almost like realistic fiction, where it's like this could happen. Like
Yeah,
we
like
probably could engineer dinosaurs if we really wanted to.
what did they? How did they explain it in
I don't know if
Jurassic
we
Park?
could
It was taking essentially it was
It
taking
was taken from
dinosaur
the amber
DNA out of
from the
out of
mosquito.
mosquitoes
dinosaur.
that fed on
Yeah,
dinosaur
amber.
blood, dinosaurs. Yeah, it was
Dinosaur
taking the
DNA.
DNA of dinosaurs
that.
out of fossilized mosquitoes or fossilized in amber, the mosquitoes. They took that DNA, essentially fused it with amphibian DNA, frogs, because of something to do with they were like I don't know, the
good
closest
match.
relative or something, or a close relative.
Yeah.
Somehow it mixed well. And you know what? That's also based on maybe stuff they knew or thought was true at the time. We obviously have more information now, but that doesn't take away from that movie. Like that still feels pretty. And you know, if you accept that, then the rest of the movie flows fine. That's also another thing. You have to. There is an error of suspending your disbelief. You know,
Suspended belief. Yeah.
I think the best sci-fi very often, you know, any movie with aliens, you have to, if you want to take that movie seriously, you have to go, okay, the aliens in this world are real. In this movie's world, they're real.
Yeah.
And you know, in our world, they very well may be.
We very male.
Don't have concrete evidence yet. You know, so depending on what you believe, but.
I want to.
Yeah,
believe.
I think the theoretical thing is just baked into sci-fi as a whole, because that's kind of the whole point of sci-fi is that they're taking some real scientific concepts and then presenting them in fictitious ways.
Like fiction. I mean, if you're talking about theoretical physics, or you know, that's actual science, right? Like if we're talking about
what does it mean for if it's theoretical though?
Theoretical, essentially, like theoretical physics is that it kind of almost in the realm of alien life, or I mean, physics is kind of in a realm of its own where it's
Interstellar would be theoretical physics.
Yeah.
Well,
what's in the center of a black hole?
It involves. Well, it's not all theoretical, right? I thought some of that stuff. Is it proven fact? Like the what is it where like the time on other planets is moving slower or faster?
Yeah,
that
time dilation. Real thing. So that's what I mean. Is
that fully proven? Is that fully proven? No longer a theory.
Yeah. That was Einstein. There was a guy that went into space for like 400 days. Some Russian guy, and his clock was slower than the one on Earth. His atomic clock was actually behind our clock. Because the faster that you get the further you get from a body it has to do with gravity. I don't know. I'm not going to start talking like
I don't fully understand it. It's crazy, but as far as I knew, it is something that was proven. So that is not like if that is proven, it's no longer theoretical, right? And that's in Interstellar. And so,
but in the end of Interstellar, they actually lift Earth off of. They somehow put Earth on a different spaceship.
What?
Using some mathematical principle. Yeah, like they reverse gravity. That's what they do. They reverse gravity.
What movie?
Interstellar?
Interstellar.
What?
Sorry.
Are you positive?
Yeah, that's how they get on that spaceship at the end. Because what they're trying to
watch
do.
That movie again, apparently.
They contract or whoever. They talk to McConaughey. And they're like, you used to work for or whatever. He's some really smart guy that used to work. And his daughter figures it out because whenever he goes... Sorry, should I not say this? Is this spoilers?
Spoiler alert.
I guess I
Can
did
we talk about Interstellar?
Yeah, we are talking about Interstellar.
All
right, you know what?
That?
Spoiler alert. Spoilers. How about that? So alert. Leave now. You know, if
turn it off.
Anyone in the future, that doesn't want to hear anything about Interstellar. Not that I don't even know how accurate we are, but still, just in case. I should say I don't want to be an asshole and say no spoilers for movies I like and spoilers for movies I don't. But go ahead.
And oh god, sorry, it's gonna be I'm fighting them and also trying to talk about theoretical gravity.
I know, I'm watching you.
Not easy. I will happily rewatch that.
My brain hasn't worked this hard. In a long time.
Like when you remember on that planet where they said 1 minute on here is 7 years on Earth.
7 years or something.
And it's because I believe it's because of how close to the black hole they were. So because a black hole obviously is the most gravitationally dense entity in in the universe
No, no.
that literally affected how time, which is the theory of relativity, how time affected them while they were on there, which is like if you said that to somebody 200 years ago, they would think, yeah, okay,
They
shut
would
up.
burn
Like they
you.
would think that,
You're a witch.
right, right. Like that sounds like science fiction. So that's what I mean is if we take theoretical physics, something that's been proven mathematically but hasn't been observed in the natural world, which is essentially what dimension theory
It has though with that
is.
astronaut guy. It has.
No,
He
dimension. I'm saying like the fifth dimension, the fourth and fifth dimensions.
that's a totally
Time
different thing.
dilation has been observed, but now it's like more, I guess, of a law. But if you're I guess making
Yeah.
a film representing or showcasing a realistic depiction of what the fifth dimensional travel would be, I don't really count that as science fiction. It's like realistic science fiction, or it's like a realist scientific.
Well,
There's another word, but not a docudrama, but whatever
hold
that,
on.
like almost a documentary, like
No, not
not a
documentary.
documentary, but like
Because
there's a word for it.
you wouldn't consider any movie like because most movies are not like while they are fiction, they're telling fictional stories, right? They're not real
Yeah.
people, but they're still
Yeah,
involved.
so
Like,
realistic.
you see someone die in a
That's what
movie,
that
and
is.
you're like, "Well, this is a docudrama because people die in real life." You wouldn't say that. Uh,
No, true. I guess it
and
comes down
so
to the intent of the movie. Like
it's
if
fiction. It's a fictional story. It doesn't unless it's
Yeah.
unless it's explicitly saying these were real events. Which
Fiction
you would then
pertaining to science. Like a soap opera
science
isn't
fiction.
scientific fiction
Yes,
or science fiction.
science. Well,
Yeah.
soap
No, I
operas,
agree with
yeah.
Adam, I think. With that.
Well-
What is Daniel saying that it's like what is so
Well,
yeah, I mean there's
it's
storytelling elements to it, but that's the
showcase a
same with Jurassic
concept.
Park. Jurassic Park had the lawyer and Ian Malcolm and there was a little they had the
That's-
Velociraptor rising
that's-
conflict.
Well, what was the intent to? I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd have to check with Christopher Nolan, but all I'm saying is that movie seemed like it had more of an intent than just to entertain. It seemed like it was meant to,
well,
like he has a passion clearly for theoretical physics. He's made 3 movies about it in
well, I
some
mean,
way, shape, or
many
form.
movies have intentions other than to just entertain. Because I mean, even Interstellar still has plenty of stuff in it that is meant to entertain. The whole the sequence where they're trying to reattach their spinning, or where they have to like speed up their ship to the rotation of whatever that thing is in space that got hit by
Yeah,
something.
I love that
Like
scene.
that
Makes
that
me
is
so
an
dizzy.
entertaining scene. That is it
Well-
is done for the like trauma of the scene because
Doesn't-
it's very hard to do. And so
Does intent dictate the genre of movie?
No,
Like
God,
if
no.
Daniel's saying
No,
he did it to educate, so does that make it a different branch of science fiction?
No, I would not say
Then
so.
just-
That like if that was the defense of the director, if Christopher Nolan was just like, well, I was trying to educate people. Well, it's like, okay, well, it's still science fiction. I don't like the story that takes place in that movie did not happen in real life. It is fiction, and it's based on scientific theoretical or theories or existing laws, but which would make it science fiction. That's the whole idea behind science fiction. I'm pretty sure is that you kind of take existing scientific theories or laws, whatever, and then you put a fictional you place a fictional story involving those things, aliens, all that shit. Like, so yeah, I would not ever say come close to calling it a docu anything, because if it has documentary somewhere in its title, then that means it's going to involve potentially real people. Like, you could sooner call Oppenheimer a docudrama but also people just call that like a biopic or
Yeah,
a
that's-
biopic,
that's
whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So then
that
what
is
is a-
based
what's
on a
the
real
genre
person
for
or
a
real
movie
events. Do what?
that-
Sorry.
I guess what genre would you call a movie that? Like maybe this is me being a little bit assumptive, but I guess a genre of movie that is meant to portray a theoretical physics concept simultaneously while like
Science
conveying a
fiction.
plot.
But I mean, if it's a fictional story, then it's science fiction. I don't.
Yeah, the theme is just science.
That's not even the theme of Interstellar. Like the theme, Interstellar's got that is a movie where I could say time is a theme. There's
Oh,
themes of
yeah.
family in that movie.
Yeah,
Stuff like
family is
that.
a theme.
But
Either way,
or
that's
yeah,
at least
elements
what I
of.
would make an argument for Tenet is that he tried to tackle a concept almost as like a passion project for the concept, made a movie out of that, and I don't know. Tenet seems like it would be treated more than just your typical plot, entertainment, whatever, science fiction movie. It's kind of like almost like
I,
not a reenactment, like a representation. There's a word that I'm looking for that I
but
can't.
I mean, many movies do this type of stuff though, and
Sure.
they,
I'm
and
just
I,
saying in this case, like,
but
I don't know.
it's just it's
when
all
analyzing.
I understand that the concepts that he was trying to convey are very complicated. The fuck? Oh. I wouldn't or take as much as I think like this movie does it great, I think. It's not dealing with fifth dimensional shit, it's dealing with fourth. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I fucking love that movie. I love it.
Yes.
That movie, and it does the work in the movie to try and explain what it's dealing with, although it still does it in a fictitious way because the ways in which they present that idea are fictitious. We don't know, what is it that he uses? The jumping off points, right? The jump pads. They say that the way you can access other versions of more obscure versions of yourself is to do something in this world that feels almost out of character for you. So, eat a piece of already chewed gum off the bottom of a desk. Is that something you would do? Probably not normally. But if you do that, then that gives you access to other timelines of yourself that did do something like that, or that would more likely do something like that. And it's like, well, that has no basis in our reality, but
Sure.
the way they present those rules in that movie, like they say, okay, this is how that works. And so the way I see it, as long as it is consistent with itself and it works like that throughout the movie, okay, fine. Then I will accept that as part of the movie. Because Tenet, I had a lot of questions. I wasn't fully getting. God, Andrew, just get backstabbed on the stairs there.
I know. I'm trying to read. Wiki.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I wasn't Tenet. I felt like I was left with way too many questions throughout that movie of just I not understanding how things logically worked. Like I didn't really get. And you and I watched some video, Dan, that said that this was how it worked. But the whole thing about the reason they wear the air masks or whatever when they go into reverse time is because like oxygen's moving like backwards essentially, and so like their lungs would collapse if they didn't have that. But I was like, well, why would that not affect everything else? Like it seemed to affect fire. Fire in reverse like froze, but it didn't affect maybe the reverse flow of someone's blood. Like, why wouldn't that happen?
Oh, good point.
That was my biggest thing in my head. I was like, why would that not like just kill you? I don't know what happened.
I don't know, unless
happen,
scientifically, if your blood can your blood flow backwards?
Well, yeah, and you know what?
Know.
Maybe, and
not.
that's just one of those things where I was left with way too many questions that maybe the movie did not give me enough answers for. And I don't want to have to be a fucking scientist to be able to enjoy the movie. And you know what? If that's the case, if a bunch of scientists out there who know that stuff, physicists, whatever, love that movie because it's super accurate to whatever, then fine. Even if I accept all of that and let's just say I know all that, whatever, I still don't really love the movie. It's a cool action movie.
Which is fine. Like, I'm not trying to persuade either way. More so
I know.
Just,
I just... Like
if that was like the intent was to be more of that educational, like, oh, okay, that's like really cool.
Yeah, and that's
Like if I
fine.
said to you
I
make
think.
a movie on, I don't fucking know, give me some crazy obscure thing that very few people know a lot about. Like make a movie on the life cycle of a crab, and you know,
Hey,
or
Oh,
Adam will
something.
know.
I would die. I would be so happy.
But
No one's
like,
ever gonna
let's
do
say it
that.
ended up maybe having a lot of plot points that you're like, okay. But like, let's say it tackled these not themes, but tackled these whatever,
Topics.
things in the movie that were really unique and that a lot of people didn't explore and that were, maybe previously considered too complicated to make a movie about, but you take a crack at it and it ends up being a relatively
Crab.
cohesive movie with some holes in it. I wouldn't look at that as just, oh, this was just another typical movie. Like, no, you bit off something that was more than what most people,
Sure.
maybe even yourself, could chew, and you did something with a concept that is incredibly difficult and told a story in a way that did convey it. At least he
Well,
conveyed the basics of fifth dimensional travel to the average person. Like,
I mean, the
you know,
only issue I would take
it's
with
pretty
that
important.
scenario at the moment that I can think of is that you said, if it was a fairly cohesive story but with some holes, it's like, well, the holes matter. If it's
The
like,
holes matter.
if it's a huge hole, well, then it can ruin the whole fucking movie. If the hole is something that if the hole that is poked in the story is something that completely takes away from the overall point of the movie, well, then it's not going to be an enjoyable movie for me. It's sort
Sure.
of like, did you guys see A Quiet Place?
I think you and
What
I
was that
watched it,
about?
didn't we?
So A Quiet Place, it's a movie by John Krasinski, guy who played
Jim
Jim on The
Krasinski. Oh,
Office.
sorry. Oh yeah, Jim
Yeah.
Halpert.
So he's gotten into directing, and I think I don't know if it was necessarily his debut, but at least the first big
Quiet.
thing he did was a movie called A Quiet Place, which was a horror movie. I can't remember how long ago it came out now. It may have been like 9 or 10 years at this point,
I
but
don't think I watched
um,
this.
it was essentially about a movie about a movie. It
Yeah, it
was
was about a
about
movie.
yeah.
Is it a movie about a movie? That's
Yep.
kind of meta.
Hey, that's
About a
Tropic
movie.
Thunder. Yeah, that's a movie about making a movie. The movie's fantastic.
About Cannibal
But
Holocaust. Have you ever seen that?
oh my god, I haven't. I don't think I'm gonna, to be honest.
No, yeah, Adam ain't watching. He has a thing with
Uh,
cannibals.
I can't
Mm.
really do cannibal stuff. I don't. It's just not my
Can you do
cup of
Cannibal
tea. That's for
Corpse?
sure. Well, of
You
course.
do love Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, I do like Cannibal Corpse. So A Quiet Place it focuses on a family that's living in, I guess you'd call it maybe a post-apocalyptic world, but Earth has been invaded by these aliens, and they don't have eyes, so they have super insane good hearing. Like if you step on a leaf from like 3 miles away, they're gonna hear you.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that
so
sounds like Bird Box.
the whole Bird Box is
But what,
fucking piece of shit too.
you don't like Bird Box?
No.
Why not?
I need to rewatch it. I remember liking it.
I
You
guess
can't
I
look
would
at them.
I remember not liking it, and you know what? I guess I need to rewatch it to give you more concrete reasons why. I kind
I'll
of just
rewatch
left
that
with
with you.
I'm kind of just left it of the opinion that I don't like it at this point. I kind of forgot most of it, to be honest. But anyway, Quiet Place, yeah. So that's the basic premise, and the whole movie is the family surviving in this world. Having to go out, find resources, and the different methods they use in order to combat the super sound hearing aliens. So like the opening of that movie, I believe, is them in a pharmacy looking for things, and they're very quietly doing that. They have a deaf daughter, which is kind of a trope of movies, but whatever. It can be kind of interesting for this movie. Fine. But they have to, they got to be super quiet doing everything. And they show them that when they walk, they've made a trail. I guess they found bags of sand or something somewhere. And so they used that to make a trail from their home into town so that they can step on that instead of stepping on like crunchy leaves and stuff, which is good. I think that's a nice detail to show off. And so a lot of the movie, a lot of it comes down to how they portray them avoiding making sound. There's a lot of really creative, inventive ways that they do that, and it's super interesting to watch. Now, this isn't the only problem with the movie, but the biggest one that not everyone, but most people recognize at this point, there is a plot point in the movie where the father, Jim from The Office, I'm just going to call him Jim, he takes
Jim.
his daughter or son, I can't remember, daughter or son,
Kid.
out to, one of his kids. They have more than one. They have two, 9 to 12-year-old kids, I can't remember their ages, and then they have a baby. The baby is a big problem, obviously.
Fuck that. Yeah, kill that thing.
And,
Okay, go ahead.
oh god.
Get rid of that fucking liability. Holy shit.
But the dad takes one of his kids out to a waterfall. I can't remember why specifically. It might just be to get clean drinking water. And when they're out there, the dad makes it clear that the sound of the waterfall essentially means they can yell. They can talk normally. They can just talk to each other because the sound of the waterfall, creates enough sound that it blocks out their talking. It's at a higher decibel, I guess, than their talking. They can yell. They straight up show them yelling out there. They're just as this moment of kind of freedom. It's a nice moment.
Yeah, that would feel so good.
Yeah, it would. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, suddenly, nice and redundant.
Spoilers, by the way, everyone. Spoilers.
I guess I've been spoiling this whole movie. I forgot to say at the beginning. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, I guess it didn't hit a lot of people, but it hit me and a lot of other people. Why the fuck are they not living there? They are living in this house that's... Sorry, I didn't explain this. They're living in this, borderline compound they've built around their house that has, all sorts of measures to warn their other family members if there's the creatures nearby, all these things. And they have to be super quiet. They got to walk around the house quietly. They've dampened sound in all sorts of places. But then they go out to the waterfall and they can just scream, yell, do whatever. And you're like, well, why wouldn't you just move your resources there? I know you have a house and all, but if you can't even walk around your house without making enough sound to trigger one of these fucking aliens, why the fuck wouldn't you move to a place that completely blocks out all your sound?
Is it in the woods? Is it away from anything? If they're in a pharmacy looking for resources, maybe living somewhere.
They do live out in kind of the middle of nowhere. But from what I understand, if I remember this right, that waterfall is on the path to the town. They take the path to town, and the waterfall is on the way. It might actually be closer to town than their house is.
All right. So you're saying that's a plot hole?
So that is a giant plot hole that kind of ruins a lot of the tension in the movie for me because, it just comes down to, you guys are just stupid now. It's no longer, I don't care that you are being chased by these aliens because you wouldn't have to be chased by them if you just moved to the fucking place that blocks out all your sound. That's so dumb.
Take the side of the aliens, be like, good, kill these natural selection pieces of shit.
For real. Why would you not go there? That doesn't make sense to me.
That's
Move
funny.
there. Do you care about your children? They claim they do in the movie. That's a big portion of the movie is... In fact, the mother has the baby in the house. She has to keep herself quiet while having the baby, which I find almost unbelievable. I think it could be done, but man, But point being, you could have screamed your fucking head off if you just moved to the stupid fucking waterfall.
Yeah.
It's dumb. That is a huge gaping hole in that movie.
Big old stretched anus. Yeah.
And you know what, they've made 2 more of them. I saw the most recent one in theaters, and God, I was so unthrilled. It was, I can't even describe most of it. It was just, it felt so much like your typical horror movie where people just die because Like that's it. Like there's no good reason. They're just like, oh look, they were dumb. They died. They knew not to make sound, but you know, they of course they did one thing that then they are that is super tension filled, and then as they walk away from that thing that they did, they trip on the fucking, you know, mountain of cans that was beside them or something. Yeah, it's just like, why wouldn't you walk 80,000 feet away from that? They just walk like directly into it, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And then they die, and then the other character's like, "Oh my god, this world." And I'm like, I mean, you guys are just dumb. I'm sorry. There was some good acting. There's good acting in all the movies. Good production value, stuff like that. It's just, yeah, the stories are generally, I don't like those movies. Not a fan. So yeah. Anyway, to get back to the original point, yeah, if you have a giant gaping plot hole, obviously it can ruin the entire fucking movie, regardless of the concept you were trying to
that's fair.
portray.
Yeah, and it's not me trying to justify that and be like, no, you can forgive it because it's not supposed to. No, I think you should take any movie production at its face value, regardless of, you know, we talk a lot about death of the author and you know, things like that, where like it doesn't matter what their intent was necessarily, you know, it's how they communicated, how well they actually write it, how well, you know, it's just having an idea or a dream of something doesn't matter if you're, you know, your end product doesn't represent that or has flaws. So it's not me, you know, saying no, turn a blind eye to that. It's really just like thinking about the movie differently. Like I think that, and I would like to think that you would agree, but there's many different ways of looking at movies or art in general. It's kind of like if you can analyze it from a number of different perspectives or kind of thinking about it in ways and being like, oh wow, this is, you know.
And if I haven't, I mean, if I haven't said it before, I'll go on record now as saying it. That, I mean, I'm pretty sure we already did. I thought we talked about this on the last stream, where I like plenty of movies that I don't think are objectively good. You know, like they maybe have bad, you know, plot points. They have holes in them, but I still like them. Because of other aspects. Maybe they have good action, good acting, good music, who knows? Like, have I ever showed you the movie Hardcore Henry, Dan?
No, you brought it. We were going to watch it. I think we watched it.
I would love to watch that movie with you sometime.
Whatever that movie was, the railroad movie or some shit, or the oil drilling movie?
Whale drilling?
Or no, it was...
What?
What was the oil drilling movie we watched?
Well, hold on. I mean, that wasn't going to be relevant to my point, but you're talking about There Will Be Blood. That movie is amazing.
That was a great movie. I really liked that.
No,
anyway, we watched that instead of Hardcore.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why you brought it up. All right, I see. Well, yeah, what I was going to say is that because like Hardcore Henry does not have a good plot. I would almost say non-existent in a way, in the sense that there's so little story, or not non-existent plot. Sorry, that's the difference. The plot is more like the events, whereas the story is sort of like Christ. I almost just want to say the story, the narrative, right? Because you can have a whole bunch of events happen in a movie without it necessarily having a story. So that would be, I guess, the difference between plot and story. Is the plot is the events that happen in the movie as opposed to the actual narrative story. So Hardcore Henry doesn't really have a story at all. It's got a very, very loose one. But it's mostly just a vehicle to serve you action. And it's all shot in first person. What?
Like Marvel movies.
Oh, well, nowadays, yeah, I would say so. Marvel movies now are pretty bad. I like a selection of them. There's some good ones out there. But,
Iron Man is great.
I love Iron Man. Yeah, I think my girlfriend and I watched that not too long ago.
So like, I wonder what the turning point was.
It seemed to happen. Well,
Captain
broadly
Marvel.
speaking, it happened after Endgame, but there were still terrible Marvel movies before that. But yeah, Hardcore Henry is just it's all shot in first person, so it's a first person action movie. It's super cool. It's got a whole bunch of cool set pieces
Interesting.
and action scenes that I love watching because it's different. Story
It's like a video
again,
game.
none. Like basically none. No story. But I don't care. I love watching that movie. It's also got an actor in it that I really like. It was the I can't remember his name. The main character from District 9, Vickis Funamiria or whatever his name was in that movie. That was his character's name in District 9. That guy has a recurring character in Hardcore Henry that I think is a really fun character in that movie. But
I like District 9. I thought that was going to just
I-
be this, like,
I love that movie.
it was kind of, I don't know what to call it. Like, that was almost even shot in a way that was almost
That-
from, like, the standpoint of a reporter, kind of.
Yeah,
or at least
that
in part.
was.
I
well,
like that.
That was like like the first like 30 minutes of that movie are shot almost like it's a documentary being filmed.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it are more like a normal movie, which I think, funnily
Yeah.
enough, is actually just something it can't that spawned from just them changing how they were going, what they wanted to do with that movie in the middle of shooting it. I've looked at some of the behind the scenes for that movie. It's super interesting. Peter Jackson was involved because I think they were doing originally a Halo project that I think fell through, and so they just had all these sci-fi assets laying around and were like, well, we still want to make a movie or something, so let's try something. And they made District 9. And it was on like a budget of like only $30 million, which is crazy for how that movie looks. That movie looks incredible,
It
especially
does.
for
I
that
didn't know
budget.
the budget was. Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, hell, like low budget sometimes, man, you can make some great stuff when you
Yeah.
know the right people. Godzilla -1. I will herald that movie to the end to my death.
I want to see that.
What was the
Didn't that
budget?
just come out?
Oh,
I wanna
it's
see
so good, Andrew. Go watch it. It's on
I didn't
Netflix.
get
Yeah,
it.
it's good.
It's on
Okay.
Netflix.
Hey,
God,
Andrew, you need to come visit, and we need to have a movie marathon because there's so many
God.
that. I mean, you need to see Everything Everywhere All at Once first and foremost.
Oh my God, you
That
haven't
is a
seen
movie.
that?
I'm not really a big movie guy.
Ah!
I kind of.
Wow,
I want to watch
Adam
that
is
right
so
now.
good.
Like, I want to illegally stream that movie right now, but not because I want to illegally stream it. I just want to watch it. And we are doing this right now.
Yeah, fuck the podcast.
Fuck Dark Souls. Fuck the podcast. I want to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. I fucking love
I would
that
watch
movie,
that.
Been
man.
going
Yeah, that was a really great.
God.
That movie is like the word insane is really the only thing that comes like that. We use that word too much. That word should be exclusively reserved for things of the quality of that movie or higher. That is
that movie is insane.
not even quality, just the whole everything about it. Every aspect of that movie. It's just.
I will
it's a-
forever be mad that it got cut off for us in theaters. Like I wish. Oh my God! Can you
That's
imagine how much we
right.
would have freaked the fuck out in a theater over that?
I
movie?
know.
Oh my God!
I do. That's right. I forgot that. That's right.
Yeah, me and Dan tried to go see it in a theater because like I heard good things about it. We didn't have any idea what it was about, and we went to go see it at some theater in Cary. Well, who cares? Never mind. Fuck it. I'll just move past that. But
Gary Zimbabwe.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Try to go see it at some movie theater. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. It was so irrelevant to anything.
Yeah,
But
that's
whatever.
okay.
We tried to go
That's,
see it.
It's
and-
in Indiana.
No reward.
Cary, Indiana.
That was just natural. That was just some natural bullshit. Whatever. I don't care.
There's probably a million carries around the world. I'm
There are
sure
million
that-
characters. There's one
Well,
in
the more we
Maine
dwell on it,
where we
the
are.
worse it gets. But
Yeah,
anyway, we
it's
tried to
really
go see it.
Carrie Maine.
We tried to go
Very
see
Maine.
it, and about fucking 30 to 40 minutes into the movie, the screen
Yeah, that
just
was
went black, and we
Wow.
thought it was part of the movie at first because there was some scene that happened that almost flowed into that like naturally.
Yeah.
And the characters just the characters just kept talking. and we were waiting for the screen to come back, and then it just wasn't, and we were sort of sitting there for like 5 to 10 minutes, just be like, okay, I think this is just it's messed up. And then someone eventually went and told someone to come fix it, and they couldn't. And well, actually, what'd they say? First, they said, "How far into the movie were you?" And someone said something like, "I think we were like an hour and a half in or something." Someone that doesn't know how to tell time at all. And they said that, and because they said that, we were over the 50% mark. Instead of giving us our money back, because the movie wouldn't come back, they gave us a fucking voucher. So essentially, instead of getting our money back, we got a ticket to use to come back to the theater, to their theater, to watch it again, or to watch any movie. And we didn't end up using it because we never go to theaters, and the theater we went to was like a solid, I don't know how long away. It was not close though, and so we're like, what the fuck, man? That fucking guy that said that was wrong. We were like 40 minutes into a 2.5 hour movie. That fucking asshole.
That'd be a fun game show. You let something happen for a period of time, and then you go, how long was that? And then the closest guess to it. I feel like I'd be good at that. Like, I'm pretty good at, like, if I see the clock is whatever, 5. You know, if I feel like an hour has gone by, I'm pretty good at being like, yeah, it's probably near 6, 5:45, 6.
It depends on what I'm doing. If it's something I enjoy, like if I'm doing something I enjoy, I lose my track of time is gone.
You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun.
I mean, it does.
Time flies when you're
like, when we're playing fucking Minecraft, and I'm like, oh, we just started. It's 8 o'clock, and then I look at the clock, and it's 1 a.m., and I'm like, oh, it's time to go
I was
to
up
bed.
till 3 the other night because I did not realize playing Civ. I don't know if you ever played Civ before, Civilization.
I haven't.
Sid Meier's. Oh my gosh! I looked at the clock, and I was like, are you kidding me?
It's probably a game I could get lost in.
Yeah, definitely. It's a strategy game, very fun. You build your own civilization.
For PlayStation, I think I need to buy it.
You're not really into strategy games, I feel like. Daniel, see.
Me? I play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Are you joking?
Well, no, hold on. That's a different animal to something like StarCraft, though, or something of that nature. Is that what you mean by strategy game?
Depends on what it is.
Then you could say Pokemon is a strategy game. Yeah, well, like
it is, but
simulator strategy.
It's just different levels of intensity and learning, I think. I don't know everything about Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's definitely not like, I don't think it's considered like, the most complicated card game out there. I think even Magic the Gathering would probably.
Yu-Gi-Oh now is more complicated than Magic.
I don't know about that.
Magic?
Yu-Gi-Oh now is. They have so many different kinds of summoning. It's absurd.
Magic the Gathering has been out for how many fucking years?
But even Magic the Gathering, there's it's not that there's not as much strategy, but it's not nearly as over the top complicated as Yu-Gi-Oh is. It's still pretty damn complicated, but it's not.
Yu-Gi-Oh
is now.
Maybe in the sense that Yu-Gi-Oh has just added so many things over the years without thinking about their broader implications in the game. Maybe that's why it would be more complicated. But
maybe. Well, there's just more strategies to that. The more kinds of summoning there are.
Sure. I'm speaking more so though that if we're assuming that things were implemented in a way that made sense to the strategy of the game, that deepened the strategy of the game, as opposed to something that maybe made the game more complicated, but only because it didn't make sense with the other things surrounding it.
Well, they all intertwine with each other. Like, you can, depending on, I mean, there's so many different like uses or use cases for these cards that coincide with one another, and then the more kinds of summoning there were, you had to, they made more cards, and then you could use those cards with the cards that already existed to create entire new strategies. And then, I mean, there's so many different things you could do with one deck of cards now that just putting together a deck requires, like, I have 5 or 6 different decks that do all different.
I mean, to be fair, that's the same in Magic, though. Like, you build your decks based on specific.
To an extent.
It is.
How does Magic work? Like, how do you play Magic?
I've played it like twice ever, and it was with the help of a friend. I didn't play it long enough to fully understand it.
I would love to give it a
It
shot.
was
like
it
chess. Chess is a strategy game.
because like
I
in that
consider
game
chess-
you have like monster cards, you have land cards, and
so that's like a
I'm not going to
style.
be able to do it justice. I'm not going to be able to explain it to you. I'm sorry. Never mind. I'm not even going to get on that subject because I can't begin to explain it to you
It's
well
probably
enough
similar.
because I don't
It's
know it
similar.
well. I don't know how similar it is really.
Most description card games are going to be similar to an extent. Any card that's like, all right, with this one, this has X points and this is this attribute, and you play it in this slot and it does this, and here's how you use it. Okay, great.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean. I wouldn't say they're all going to be similar to an extent.
I don't know.
Only because I don't know them all well enough. It's just
Let's
like
see,
if you want
games.
to if you water it down into just monsters fighting monsters, then sure. But obviously, how the game actually plays out may be very different because I don't know if there's if I remember I don't think there's like trap cards and magic cards and stuff like that. In Magic, I can't remember, but there's there's different. You might be able to achieve similar things, similar effects, but the way you go about it is more complicated. Don't you summon him? You have to beat him on your own, you son of a bitch.
I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened.
I'm going to tell
I've
you
been
what
using
happened.
the Claymore this whole time, and I thought I could undo the raw thing that I had on it to turn it into Gwyn's greatsword with the giant blacksmith, and I can't. There's a lot more I have to do.
Well,
So
then
now
I
my
guess you're just gonna have to beat him with the raw claymore.
Or well, no, it was a raw Claymore.
Oh.
But I can't. We can
Oh,
try.
so
I
it's
just,
not it's not raw anymore.
well, and it was raw +3. It was really good. It was like 220. And now this, and then this is just +5. So I've been trying to use it for weapon, but it's just not like my finesse with this weapon. So
Well,
and I can't go
would
back because I'm in.
All right,
I could-
I just look. I if you end up summoning him, it's all right. But I would I would implore you to maybe just go farm, level up, or do something to get.
Well, I would have. I mean, I dropped my weapon eight levels. I don't really know. I mean, I guess
8
this is
levels?
what I would have in the first playthrough anyway. So
a raw +3 would have only been like that would have been a +10 weapon that you made raw that then you upgrade 3 times, right?
yeah, which is a lot more than this. Plus
Well,
regular
what are you
+5
using right now?
Claymore. I just went back to it because I was going to use him.
But is it a Claymore +10? What is it?
5. I can only do 5 because
5?
I haven't gone to the depths to go to Andre. I just wanted to build the sword, but I couldn't. So I undid it, thinking I could do it. But I didn't have the something. I don't know what I don't have.
Right.
I think
and
this
you
needs to be
can't
+10.
travel
Well-
to the depths right now because
Yeah.
you haven't beat.
I would even consider Dark Souls to be a strategy game in a lot of ways. Like you have to strategize. I mean, what do we consider a strategy game?
There's elements of strategy. Like StarCraft would be a strategy game. It's sort of it's almost like think like chess is a strategy game. Like I would consider that strictly that. And so it's more so like moving, broadly speaking, moving pieces around on a board. And StarCraft is like that, but on just meth and cocaine.
Like
there's 8,000 pieces moving.
Like it.
I would love to try StarCraft. I think it's a PC only, and it's one of those games where you're going to have to divest a lot of time into it to be able to learn it, and I just haven't found the time to do that.
I guess that's just
I think Age of Empires is another one that you could do that.
The point of Dark Souls is like, for all intents and purposes, hack and slash in a way. Maybe not as. Yeah, like it's about combat. It's about fighting enemies.
You would maybe call it sort of a RPG.
Yeah, that I'm okay with. Adventure combat game. The combat is the main focus.
I don't think I would call it, at least not the first one. I would not call it hack and slash.
Hack and slash is like the original.
Yeah.
Essentially, with guns.
Yeah, like where you mass killing of
just
enemies,
mowing down enemies. Yeah, where that's just
that's a hack and slash. Turok was a hack and slash.
No, I would make
I don't remember
Turok more like Dark
but,
Souls than Doom.
Turok Evolution was absolutely a hack and slash game with a
uh,
little bit of
You were
adventure.
sneaking
maybe I would
around. No,
just
you don't
sooner
where you did stealth.
I
That's
maybe
not
just
hack and slash.
I don't remember there being that many enemies in Turok, like to that
Yeah,
extent.
There were.
Like not where you're just like they're
Um,
throwing like 20 enemies
let's
at you
see
at
what the
once
definition-
constantly.
Hack and slash games. Devil May Cry, Diablo, Metal Gear Rising, God of War, Dante's
God of
Inferno.
War is a hack and slash.
The old God of
enemies
War,
aren't that
absolutely.
hard.
Stellar Blade, Diablo again,
Yeah, Diablo twice. Why not?
X-Men Origins, Devil May Cry apparently is a very famous one.
Like
Type of gameplay that emphasizes combat with melee-based weapons. I guess technically speaking, you could say God of Dark Souls rather is one, but it definitely doesn't fit the same tropes as most hack and slash games.
I can do this.
So I don't know. It's an action adventure RPG. You need to get The Witcher 3, by the way.
Who me?
Yes.
So what do we have? We have Dark Souls. What was the second one we did? Dark Souls.
Dolly
Second
Parton.
The second topic we did.
Dark Souls,
Um,
Dolly Parton, and
Dolly
Diphenol
Parton.
Chloroquine.
Dolly
And
Parton
then-
and docudrama.
Well, and also
Docudrama.
diphenylchloroquine. That was the other one.
Yeah,
And then
that's
that
right.
was sort of
Docudrama.
Yeah, we had
Doc-
a small
It's
discussion
a
on that.
D. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. You got your.
See,
you
we
got
just
your
naturally
description now.
come.
No, we
Look,
got
we're
4.
geniuses. We're geniuses. We just naturally.
We
just
are
comes to us.
mild.
Although, is that the definition of a genius? Is that it comes naturally?
Yes, because you know how I know that because I'm a genius. There we go.
Ah,
Let's see.
Yeah,
Go
see,
here.
isn't that really easy?
Right.
That's so simple.
It is.
That's like-
So another D is definition. I've looked at more definitions tonight. A genius is exceptional intellectual or creative power or other natural ability.
which
Characteristic
yeah,
of original
moving on.
exceptional insight,
which
the
I don't know
performance
if you
of some
can
art or
define
endeavor.
yourself as that, but
endeavor that surpasses expectations, sets new standards for the future, establishes better methods of operation, or remains outside the capabilities of competitors. I like that last one a lot. That's very cool, very proprietary definition. I agree with that. So would we be genius? I don't think that we would be outside the capabilities.
I'm not sure
of
if you can
competitive-
call yourself a genius. That doesn't seem fair or something. I don't know if fair is the
Think
right
about
word. I
This
like
fight's
I
not
think-
fair.
and it's just very
because
pretentious to-
it's extremely pretentious to call yourself a genius, but also let's say you call yourself a genius and you are someone that considers your ideas to be fitting of that definition.
yeah,
well,
right. It's
It's like
circular
you're a
reasoning.
biased party. You kind of need someone else to determine whether those ideas
Yeah,
really
I agree.
meet those criteria. So, yeah, I don't.
I mean, I
don't
guess you
think-
could be a genius objectively if you take an IQ test. That's just, you could then say, look, I have an IQ of fucking 150. I'm
Yeah,
a genius.
That's a metric to use, but obviously, if you have an IQ of
So kind of
fucking whatever
colloquialism.
200 or whatever the hell the highest is, if you but
let
you
me
don't
see, what
use
was-
it for anything, it's like, well, I don't know.
Einstein's IQ
Are you
was
a
between
genius?
160 and 190.
That's
like,
crazy.
Like if you don't use your IQ for anything, like if you
The
don't,
highest IQ ever recorded is Young Hoon Kim of South Korea, whose IQ is 276.
What? I
I
want to
didn't
talk
care.
to him.
wait, what? The scale
just-
goes that high? I didn't think the scale even went that high.
Apparently, I think it can go infinitely.
Well, what? Then what's the
Technically.
point?
Well, God would have an
Well,
IQ of 8
Because
million.
the higher you go, the more.
Well, no, God
intelligent
would
you
have an
are.
infinite IQ, I would assume.
It's just
Oh, because
it's just
infinity is not a
literally, it's
number.
quotient, an intelligence quotient. So it's whatever the number ends
Uh-huh.
up being is just whatever formula that goes into generating
Come
an IQ.
on.
Which
Actually
I don't
did
really
that.
remember. I took mine, but even then, there's different kinds of IQ tests. I don't think it's one of those things that you can really lock down and say definitively.
I
mean-
all right.
One, you should go to an accredited institution. Like when I did my autism test, I actually did an IQ test. That's, I think, more legitimate than if you go to iqtest.com and click some photos
Maybe.
You go, look, I got an IQ
You
of
said, "Do you
50."
eat pennies?" And you said yes, and you passed. Did you pass your
almost-
autism test?
I would almost love to do one of those internet IQ tests, but on stream, just to see.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do
that's
that
fun
for.
as
Maybe we'll do that for I. When we get
Yeah,
around
I
to
could do that for
IQ or for
we
T
can
for
we
test.
can see how fucking stupid we all are.
We need
Two.
to do the Slam Worldwide critique one night. That needs to be one. I don't know, Andrew, if you'll enjoy. Actually, that'd be fun to have Andrew on for that.
What's that? What does that mean?
So
Well, that's whenever. Yeah, I'll let Adam.
so Slam Worldwide is a YouTube channel that posts slam, well, mostly, I guess. Whatever, it doesn't matter how you define it. It's a genre of metal called slam metal. Me and Dan watch it pretty frequently. It mostly posts smaller bands that consider themselves to be slam bands. It often also includes like hardcore, deathcore, whatever. But there's a lot of just, let's call it, questionable quality music on there. And we get much enjoyment from listening to the music, but also analyzing the videos that the bands make for it.
Okay.
It's something I think me and Dan, we said we wanted to do it on stream at some point, but I also have gone on record saying it's like, I don't know if I want to necessarily. It's hard to say because there's a few things that go into it. One, just the whole idea. It's like, well, they're these kind of small bands. I don't know if I want to. I mean, I guess if we shit on big creators and whatever, what does it matter if they're a small creator? But there is an element of, a lot of these bands maybe are just starting out, so it's like, how fair is it to say, how terrible it is? But also another element is copyright. I don't know how much of the music is copywritten on that channel, so I don't know how easy it would be to do. So I'll have to kind of look into it. I'll have to see if I can figure out what is or is not okay for us to have on stream. We can maybe have some discussions on whether we actually want to do that, whether we think that's something we want to do. So, but yeah, that'll be in the future. I mean, if we're following the alphabet order thing here, that'll be a long ways away. But
Yeah. All right.
and shit, maybe just even for entertainment's sake, we could just pick out some of the more funny videos to cover. But then it's not quite a reaction. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that out in the future. So I think we are at the logical. Feels like we're at the logical endpoint for this one today. And
Yeah,
we did it. So. We did it earlier in the day, and we got it done sooner. Woo! We actually have some time left over to not be completely fucking tired. So
all right.
Yeah, I guess we'll call it here. We'll say this is the end of the stream. We had a commenter today. That's something.
There we go.
We're moving up in the world. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, anyone in the future, if anyone in the future watches this, thank you for watching. This was episode 5, where we, I guess, for part of the stream, covered Dark Souls. That's the title of this one. So I presume anyone that watches this will be thoroughly disappointed by at least half of the stream. But whatever. That's the way this is gonna go. We're just
Ollie and
Dark Souls, Dolly Parton, diphenylchloroquine, and docudrama. Yep, that's right.
I've been telling that one. All right.
What up?
All right. Well, thank you. I guess in the future for anyone that watches.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. My name is Adam. You can follow me on Twitter at I think it's just Primordial Crab. Let me make sure there's not a thought. I'm pretty sure.
Mia Khalifa.
At Mia Khalifa sucks.com. But
wow,
it's a different type of suck. Yeah.
He does technically
Adam
suck.
at Primordial Crab. And then you can also follow our other Twitter, Every
Not
Thought
anymore.
Counts, which you can just type at Every Thought Counts. And I'm fair, it'll pop up. So you guys can
Most
go ahead and do
thoughts.
your little exits as well.
Yeah. Follow Adam at the Primordial Crab.
Yeah, follow
Just feed
Adam. That's
his
my
account. Go
All
there.
right, this
Yeah.
This is
Give me
not
everything. Yes.
Give
yeah,
him the fame.
that's it. Usually
All
ends up
right.
getting
Yeah.
condensed to one person
And also
over time anyway.
Did you mention that the gameplay was all yours, just in case anyone?
Yeah, it was me. Don't take it. It's copywritten. If you take it, I'll come eat your
Did
mother's
you stop your
mouth.
stream?
Yeah, I did. Because I
Okay,
figured we
well,
were.
you'll have
What
to
did
tell
you
me that in
say?
the future because it's it's just showing our Discord and I don't know if there's
There. I'll
anything
pull up
on
this.
there.
There's not.
Well, I don't know if there is. I'd
guess-
have to look. There's probably something right on there that has all our addresses,
Actually, there
and
might be.
social security numbers.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. How inconvenient.
Let's see.
Anyway.
Diphenochloracine. All right. And
Yeah,
gets
go
the name
chug
from a highly toxic organoarsenic compound, and they dub their musical style as biochemical sludge slam. They only have one member, Mats Thunderud. Wow, that's
My boy
let's see what
Mats.
he goes under the alias of Gore-Tex, and there's apparently 2 of those. Wow.
That's cool.
Sorry, okay. Dang it.
Play
All
some,
right.
Can we play? Oh, we probably can't without getting fucking copyright. That's so stupid.
I mean, it's not stupid really, but it is
We
what it
should
is.
be able to play. I don't know. How do the other people do it? Other people share shit. And like, how do streamers who show like, hey, we're going to listen to bands on stream and I'm going to critique it, and they go through a whole music video? How do they do that without getting
a lot of streamers, they use Twitch, which doesn't have a copyright system like YouTube does, and so they are technically speaking illegally streaming it. And if the band for some reason didn't want them to be, they could DMCA them. So yeah, but
Demac?
whether
Demka?
no
Sorry,
copyright
I'm
strike.
just saying it phonetically.
Yes, Dimka. Yes.
Demka.
But yeah, no. So I don't know. We can try to figure that in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.